called automatic there. Ryan taking all the way with the 3-0 count. Now he can look for something to try and drive.
Rams have brought a pretty good crowd to the game considering the cold weather. There's a swing and a foul ball back to the screen. Count runs full, 3-2. The Rams seem to do that for pretty much every road game. A lot of the parents and fans go out and support the Rams wherever they go. McDonough is about a 30-minute drive from Covington. Certainly not as far as some of the trips the Rams have had to make in the last few years. Ryan Meeks flashes the signal. Evans into the wind. His payoff pitch swung on and popped up into left field. Hamrick making a run at it. He's under it and makes the catch for out one.
Ryan didn't get around all the way on that. He got pretty good wood, if you will, on the ball, driving it out to left field, but the left fielder Hamrick made a good play moving over towards the line on it. As you look out at the fans down there, it looks like they're out more at a football game than a baseball game. We see a lot of the blankets and heavy jackets and hats and probably a pair of gloves or two down there too, Kev.
Exactly right. It reminds you of a lot of those November football games. Brian Moon stands in, the switch-hitting catcher, 0 for 2 last game. He also drew a walk in the third inning. Jody Edmondson, the Stockbridge pitcher, throwing 8 straight balls and promptly getting pulled from that game. Wind of the first pitch to Moon. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike, 0-1.
I think that's the first breaking ball we've seen of the season that's been over for a strike. That last game, nobody had much success with their breaking ball.
And early in the season, you won't see very many breaking balls that are successful. The 0-1, an inside fastball. Moon laid off. It's a ball and a strike.
Good to see him laying off that pitch because that's the one he does have trouble handling, likes to chase after. So if he's laying off that pitch, his eye is getting a little better as far as the strike zone.
Joe Brassfield down the line at third for the Newton Rams. Gives his signals. Here's the wind and the pitch to Moon. High. 2 balls and a strike. Derek Coggins, another first-year coach, down the line at first base.
And both familiar names from the coaching staff of the football team this last year.
Coach Brassfield has brought some folks here from various other sports to play, including Trail Horton, who is the Rams' right fielder in this game. 2-1 pitch is low. Another off-speed offering, 3-1. Dimensions here at Craig Lunsford Stadium. The left center field, it appears to be about 318. Out at right center, 320 feet, and down the right field line, 295. Meeks is back behind home plate. Moon is set to go. The 3-1 on the way to him. A called strike on the outside corner, 3-2.
Pretty good pitch there. The Moondog laid off, but it was right on the outside corner. I think he was looking for something to drive there, so he laid off, and now he's going to have to protect the plate a little better with the 2-strike count.
Hopefully Griffin doesn't have the scouting report on how to throw Brian Moon with 2 strikes. The wind and the pitch. Breaking ball down and in. Moon just got a piece of it, fouled it back to the screen. It remains full, 3-2. Here are your actual dimensions here. The sides are a little different and a little far away. The dimensions here at Craig Lunsford Stadium, 315 down the left field line, 385 to the power alley in left center. Right-handed batters are going to have some trouble getting it out of the ballpark. 361 to dead straightaway center, 371 in right center, and 298 in right field. The 3-2, that ball may have hit Brian Moon. Either way, he's at first base. It's either a walk or a man hit by a pitch. Moon was skipping the rope on a low inside fastball.
I didn't get any indication from the umpire, so we'll just go ahead and call it a base on balls.
So Moon is at first base with 1 down, and the Rams have their first base runner of this game. Of course, it's been raining here in this part of Georgia for the last week or so, and so the field conditions everywhere aren't exactly that great for the running game, something the Rams like to try out a lot early on in the season.
Yeah, the infield is pretty soft, so it's going to be hard for him to really dig in and get a good start over there.
Luke Allen up the first pitch instead to first base, and Moon is back in safely. Luke Allen in the first game was 0 for 3, a strikeout, a double play, and a flyout to center field.
Really bad luck on that double play, though, because he drilled it just right at the shortstop.
Another throw to first. Moon is back in.
That's both times he's gone back in diving, so they may have a play on. It makes you think he's trying to get as big a lead. He's getting a huge lead over there. They may be trying to do something here.
Evans is to the belt. His delivery, a called strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Moon last year attempted only 2 stolen bases. So you wonder if there may be a hit-and-run type play. Luke Allen is a good contact hitter, despite striking out on his first at-bat this year. Stretch and the pitch, high and outside, a ball and a strike.
Although some of those strikeouts, I think, in that first game were tainted by that extremely large strike zone that the umpire was calling that day.
I think from top to bottom, the Newton Ram players will agree with you on that. There were a lot of pitches outside the strike zone that were called strikes. The 1-1 tried to bunt it, popped it up, and it's sticking in the screen right behind home plate and right up above us, 1 and 2. They may have an adventure trying to get that baseball down. It is stuck in the screen right behind home plate. They'll have to keep that in mind in case they run out of baseballs later on in the game.
Or it could be interesting if another one hits that when the throw or something, then you have 2 balls in play possibly.
Moon takes his lead away at first. Pretty liberal lead down there. Stretch and the 1-2 pitch, and off speed it stayed high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sam Allen has got to be a little disappointed with left center field here as deep as it is. He is on the on-deck circle and anxiously awaiting his first home run of 1995. Stretch and the 2-2 pitch. Off speed, swung on and missed. Runner heads for second. The throw there is to the first base side. The shortstop, A.J. Johnson, had to leap to make the play, so Moon is in safely. The Rams avoid the strike him out, throw him out, but now 2 down and a runner at second base.
I don't believe the infielders gave Ryan Meeks any help there at all because the swing and the miss, and he did not release the ball immediately. I didn't hear anyone calling going or anything like that. Normally, your infielders try to help that catcher out by shouting that he's going, and he did not get rid of the ball right away and then tell him to rush it. It looked like had he thrown it right away and a little better throw, they would have easily had Brian Moon, but he's in there safely with the stolen base.
Meeks goes out to the mound to talk just for a moment with Drew Evans. They're facing Sam Allen, 0 for 2 last game. The top 4 spots in the order went hitless in the first game of 95. The bottom 5 spots in the order picked up all 3 Newton Ram hits. Moon leading away now from second base, but with 2 down, it'll take a base hit to bring him home. Sam Allen takes the first one on the inside corner for a strike.
Pretty good pitch there. Kind of paralyzed Sam. He looked at it, wasn't quite sure. It appeared to be right on the black of the inside corner from this point of view, though.
Second baseman Matt East trying to hold the runner close out there at second. Evans' 0-1 offering is a called strike, inside corner 0-2.
Good breaking ball there, and Sam kind of bailed out and waited and then slapped himself in the head when he realized it was a curveball coming over the plate.
Allen in a big hole here, 0-2 with 2 down. Top of the first, no score in the South Metro Tournament game. Evans the stretch and the delivery and off speed. Swung on and missed. Allen waving kind of weakly at a low outside off speed. Second strikeout for Evans in the inning, and the Rams go down without a hit in the first inning. We played a half inning here at Craig Lunsford Stadium at Henry County High School in McDonald, and your score, Newton Rams nothing, Griffin Bears coming to bat. We'll be back after this. 1995 Newton Ram baseball on WGFS, AM 1430.
We have reports of a traffic problem in Covington. We're going to go to Kevin Holden in the traffic copter with a report. Kevin.
Well, Todd, there appears to be a big traffic jam in the 7100 block of Highway 278. I think it's around a business area. Yes, I believe that's East Metro Communications. What's going on here?
Kevin, I've just been handed something that should help us figure this out. Thanks. Next time. This says Covington's oldest cellular agent, East Metro Communications, is running a special through March 11th. You can save $50 when you activate a phone with East Metro Communications. Also, Kevin, it says phones are as low as free.
Did you say $50 off activation? Phones as low as free? That's it. I'm going down for a closer look.
Kevin, don't do that. Kevin, no. No, Kevin, no. Kevin.
East Metro Communications, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796. Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. Individuals must meet certain credit requirements to be eligible for these plans.
For the best in chiropractic care, visit Lithonia First Chiropractic. Dr. Michael Brust specializes in nerve and spine rehabilitation. Call for an appointment, 482-1114, 482-1114, 4214. Most insurance accepted, and we take care of your insurance paperwork at no charge to you. Call Lithonia First Chiropractic at 3081 Stone Mountain Street in Lithonia. 482-1114. 482-1114.
Griffin Bears, no score as we go to the bottom half of inning number 1. For Griffin, your lineup goes like this. Lynn Dunn leads it off in center field. A.J. Johnson at second. Ryan Meeks, the catcher, hits third. Ron Miley, the third baseman, will bat cleanup. Drew Evans pitches and bats fifth. Jimmy Saucedo is the first baseman. He'll hit sixth. Mike Cooch is the right fielder, batting seventh. Charlie Hamrick in left field hits eighth. And Matt East at second base hits ninth. And after the first pitch to Lynn Dunn, Bill will set up your Newton Ram defense for this game. Brent Johnson on the hill for the Newton High School Rams with 2 years of varsity pitching experience. His first pitch is swung and grounded towards short. Allen makes the play. His throw to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the first.
And here is the Newton Ram defense. Joseph Poole plays first base, Ryan Allen at second, Luke Allen at short, and Sam Allen at third. Around the outfield, Richie Cleary in left, Matt Easterday in center, Trail Horton in right field, Brian Moon, the Moondog behind the plate, and Brent Johnson making his first start of the season on the hill.
Johnson last year was 0-1, a 3.32 ERA, just over 6 innings. Interestingly enough, in his sophomore year, he pitched about 3 to 4 times as many innings, but with the depth of the Ram pitching staff last year, they didn't need Johnson much at all. His first pitch to A.J. Johnson is low and outside, 1-0. The bad thing about that is when the Rams reached the state semifinals and ran out of pitchers, Johnson had to throw several innings against Evans High School, one of the best high school baseball programs anywhere, and Johnson hadn't had that much experience during the season, and unfortunately it showed some during that Evans game. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled back, a ball and a strike to the Griffin Bear shortstop, A.J. Johnson.
Pretty good fastball right there by Brent Johnson, right in on the hands on the inside part of the plate. He wasn't able to do anything with it.
Johnson and Johnson in this matchup, as Brian Moon sets up outside, and the 1-1 comes inside, just off the inside corner, 2-1.
Ball seems to be tailing a little bit inside to the right-handed batters on Brent right now.
Here's the wind, the 2-1 on the way. Swung on and bounced foul right around home plate. Count goes to 2-2. Johnson hustling toward first base by hitting that ball right in front of home plate.
And the Moondog had pounced on it, was ready to release the throw. It was real borderline. It was kind of hard to determine where the foul line is there, but the umpire was right on top of it and called the ball foul.
Next game for the Newton Rams after this one, Tuesday, March 7th, Rams will play Salem High School, who have been making waves in the Rockdale and Newton County area, a top 10 team in the early rankings in AAA. Going to be an interesting matchup. That'll be at Riverside Park Tuesday afternoon. We will be there for that. The 2-2 swung on, grounded just out in front of home plate to the third base side. Moon comes out from his position, makes the play, and throws on to first in time, 2 down.
And a good stretch by Joseph Poole over there at first base. He gives a pretty good target for these infielders and the catcher to throw at. He went high to get it, was able to keep the foot on the bag. So a good play by Moondog, and then a good stretch by Joseph Poole.
It'll bring up Ryan Meeks, the Griffin Bear catcher, another right-handed batter, facing the righty Brent Johnson. His first pitch outside and low, a ball, no strikes. Most of the high school teams that the Rams face are pretty well loaded with right-handed bats. That's the norm in high school. For some reason, the Rams have been, you can call it blessed, or when they face a lefty, sometimes call it cursed, with a plethora of left-handed bats.
That's been the past several years that it's kind of been a tradition to have a lot of lefties.
The 1-0 on the way, catches the outside corner, a ball and a strike.
Good moving fastball there on the outside part of the plate, and he wasn't able to do anything with it.
Jamie Cassidy is the head coach at Griffin High School. There's a swing and a bounce ball foul to the third base side of home plate. It's a ball, 2 strikes to Meeks.
Anything that's being fouled and hitting right in front of that plate is just dying there, and it's not going very far at all. That one, of course, was foul also, but that ground is really soft out there, so you're going to see a lot of plays probably for the catcher today that you normally wouldn't see.
Brian Moon has been a busy man here in the first inning. Johnson peers in, has what he wants. His wind and his 1-2 delivery is high with the fastball, 2-2. Johnson every once in a while can cut the fastball and make it tail in just slightly to the right-handed batter. That has made him effective in past years. Moon is setting up inside here with the 2-2. It's on the way. Swung on, chopped toward right field. It's going to get past Ryan Allen into right field for a base hit. Good piece of two-strike hitting from Meeks.
That one was kind of the C&I variety. Joseph Poole started to break for it and then headed back towards first base, and it was a long ways away from Ryan Allen, who was cheating more towards up the middle. Once it got past Joseph Poole, you knew it was going to be a base hit.
Ron Miley, the third baseman for Griffin, will stand in. Another righty versus righty matchup. Griffin with a runner at first and 2 down here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Johnson checks the runner, who gets a big lead. There's a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Johnson has a fairly slow delivery to the plate. Of any of the pitchers on the Rams staff, he might be the easiest to run on. He checks the runner, comes to the belt. His delivery swung on and bounced right back at the mound. Johnson deflected it, now picks it up. He's going to hang on to the ball. All hands safe. Call it a base hit for Ron Miley. That ball hit Johnson after hopping one time, and Coach Brassfield checking to make sure he's okay. That may have hit him in the arm.
Appeared to hit him in the left shoulder and left arm area up there, as it really took a wicked hop coming up on him. I thought he was going to be able to make the play, though, but it really rolled almost all the way to the foul line. Then instead of running the risk of throwing it into the corner and the possibility of a real big inning, he just decided to hold the ball. Coach Brassfield checking out up around the collarbone shoulder area. That it does appear to be where it hit.
Well, there's good news and bad news in that. Obviously, the bad news is that on a bouncing ball back to the mound, a runner reaches base. The good news, of course, it hit in Johnson's non-throwing shoulder. So he'll take a couple of warm-up tosses. You mentioned Coach Brassfield. He was on Sports Source Weekly this morning discussing his 1995 Newton Rams. And we found out about a couple of other big things during the Saturday morning star-studded lineup, so to speak, with the trivia show from 9 to 10, Sports Source Weekly from 10 to 12, and of course, today was the debut of Car Talk with Jim Burton. That was from 12 until 3, right up until the start of this Rams game. The stretch, first pitch, a strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1.
And Luke Allen sneaking in behind the runner at second base there. Actually stayed there for... In fact, he's going straight to the bag trying to hold him close. With the lefty up there, though, it shouldn't be a problem.
They're expecting Evans to pull the ball, or at least playing percentage for him to pull the ball. The 0-1 is outside with the fastball, a ball and a strike. And if you're Brett Johnson and your defense is doing that, you'll probably want to put it in a position where Evans can pull it. Of course, the downside of that is the fact it's less than 300 feet to the right field foul pole. Johnson steps off and looks Meeks back to second base. Moon has the signal, sets up outside and gets it right there on the corner. It's 1-2.
It's kind of going against what you would think. You'd want to try and pitch him inside and let him go ahead and pull it since you're opening the whole left side. Left fielder playing straight away, and the center fielder playing almost a step or two towards left center.
And the 1-2 pitch just missed outside, 2-2. And now with 2 strikes, Evans may not be thinking so much about pulling the ball. He may try to go the other way, so Luke Allen, if at any time, should be back more in position now with 2 strikes on the hitter. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The replacement Atlanta Braves taking on the replacement Montreal Expos. 6-0 Expos, bottom of the 8th. The 2-2 pitch inside gets away from Moon. The runners will move up. 1 base apiece, so now second and third. And the count runs full.
That's going to be a wild pitch there. That ball hit well in the dirt. And actually, the batter skipped to get out of the way. Brian got over and wasn't able to get in front of it. That was really in the dirt and a tough pitch to handle, and Brian just couldn't get a hold of it at all.
You'd hate to call pitches in the first big pitches, but the 3-2 on the way. Called strike 3 inside corner, and Johnson gets himself out of a first inning jam. No runs, 2 hits. No errors, a couple of men left on base, and after an inning of play, no score from Craig Lunsford Stadium at Henry County High School. We will be back with more Newton Ram baseball right after this. 1995 Newton Ram baseball brought to you in part by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
I'm just starting out on my own. I know the importance of life insurance to protect obligations, like my new car loan. But is there an insurance program that I can fit into my budget?
No problem with Auto Owners 10-year level term insurance.
How will I know this is the right kind of life insurance for me?
Auto Owners 10-year level term provides low-cost level protection and can be converted to permanent insurance later.
Who can I talk to find out more about Auto Owners 10-year level term insurance?
Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213, your auto owner's agent.
Auto owners, the no problem people.
If you want to save money on a great chainsaw, you want the Husqvarna 51. Because right now at Coast to Coast Home and Auto, you can pick up the powerful, reliable, and lightweight Husqvarna 51 for only $329.95. That's a savings of $70. With 3.1 cubic inches, the Husky 51 has the power to do some serious cutting. Thanks to an extra-large air intake and filter, it runs clean and cool. It weighs just over 11 pounds and features a combination choke idle for easy starting. What's more, it has one of the industry's lowest vibration ratings. It all adds up to a saw that lets you do a lot more with a lot less effort. No wonder professional loggers choose Husqvarna. So pick up your own Husqvarna, the Husky 51, and save big. It's just $329.95 at Coast to Coast Home and Auto. Call them at 786-7979 for more information or see them on the square in downtown Covington.
At Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County High School in McDonough, Georgia, about 30 minutes away from Covington, where your Newton High School Rams taking on the Griffin Bears. No score in the second inning. Newton sends up the 5th, 6th, and 7th spots in the order this inning. Richie Cleary, Joseph Poole, and Trail Horton. They'll be sending them up against the Griffin Bear pitcher Drew Evans, who did not give up a hit in the first inning. He did walk a man, but came back to strike out the number 3 and 4 batters in the order. And Richie Cleary will be first up. Cleary in the first game, 1 for 3. A solid base hit to left field his first time up. And a monster shot foul in his third at bat. There's a swing at the first pitch, a ground ball to third. Third baseman coming across, Ron Miley, makes the play cleanly for the out. That ball was actually hit toward the shortstop, A.J. Johnson, but hit softly enough that Miley had to cut across from third base.
But if he doesn't cut across and make that play, I believe Richie Cleary beats that out if it goes all the way to the shortstop, because the infield is pretty slow. And good play by Miley, the third baseman, to cut it off, and they were able to get Richie Cleary by a couple of 3 steps.
That brings up Big Joseph Poole, and the first pitch to him is swung on and popped up towards shallow left center field. Hamrick and Dunn are there, and Lynn Dunn makes the catch for the second out. Coming in from center field, that one stayed up there an extra second for Dunn to get under the ball.
Joseph going up there, first pitch hacking, got underneath it, and hit pretty much a major league pop-up, just clearing out of the infield. And the center fielder made a long run in, but made a good play on it.
And it'll bring up the much-awaited baseball debut of Trail Horton, the right fielder in today's game for the Newton Rams. You know Trail for his exploits on the basketball court, 53 points in one game not that long ago. First pitch to him is a curveball, called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Trail Horton was out of baseball last year. He is back, though, and very, very speedy. Look for some big things out of him once he gets reacquainted with the game of baseball. Swings and misses here at an outside curve, 0-2.
Looks like he needs to brush up a little bit on hitting the curveball. He bailed out on the first one and then didn't come close to the second one there.
Evans' wind is 0-2 delivery. Another curveball caught the inside corner, strike 3. Rams go down 1-2-3 in what could be the quickest half inning of baseball we see, maybe this entire season. We'll be back right after this. No score here. Craig Lunsford Stadium at Henry County High School. Newton Ram baseball for 1995, brought to you by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
We have reports of a traffic problem in Covington. We're going to go to Kevin Holden in the traffic copter with a report. Kevin.
Well, Todd, there appears to be a big traffic jam in the 7100 block of Highway 278. I think it's around a business area. Yes, I believe that's East Metro Communications. What's going on here?
Kevin, I've just been handed something that should help us figure this out. Thanks. Thanks, Todd. This says Covington's oldest cellular agent, East Metro Communications, is running a special through March 11th. You can save $50 when you activate a phone with East Metro Communications. Also, Kevin, it says phones are as low as free.
Did you say $50 off activation? Phones as low as free? That's it. I'm going down for a closer look.
Kevin, don't do that. Kevin, no. No, Kevin, no. Kevin.
East Metro Communications, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796. Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. Individuals must meet certain credit requirements to be eligible for these plans.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium in Henry County, Newton Ram baseball, and here with the play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much, Bill Dolan. It will be for the Griffin Bears in the second inning. Jimmy Saucedo, Micah Gooch, and Charlie Hamrick. 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Brent Johnson gave up 2 hits in the first, stranded a couple of runners in scoring position, got out of the jam to preserve what has so far been a scoreless game, and ready to begin his second full inning of work.
Had a real good pitch to Drew Evans to catch him looking for a called third strike to end that inning.
Saucedo, a big first baseman. That's from the right-hand side. Takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Johnson, a quick worker. An announcer's dream, so to speak. There's a swing and a ground ball right back to the mound on 2 hops. Fielded cleanly, and Johnson throws to first for the out, and that ball was half white and half dark as it went to first base. I think it caught some dirt on its way out to the mound.
Anything hitting in front of that plate is just dying there. That ball, what could have normally been a Baltimore chop, perhaps just died as it got out to Brent. He took it and took his time and made a good throw. It didn't take too much time to where he ended up throwing it away. Sometimes you see a pitcher do that, they'll take all day, and then throw it into the right field corner.
Been interesting in the first 2 innings. Lots of balls hit right out in front of home plate. Anything hit out in that area isn't going to go very far. The wind and the first pitch to Micah Gooch hit him on the shoulder. Gooch immediately going down to first base, believe he's okay. He nods that he is fine. But on the first pitch to Gooch, it was inside and hit him right on the shoulder.
He's standing there saying, it's fine, wanting to grab it and rub it because you know that hurt. That was a heater, and it came, and it hurt when I saw it hit him down there.
That was that fastball that kind of tails into the righty. Started near the inside corner, but tailed in and hit him. So Griffin now with the runner at first and Charlie Hamrick standing up there. Johnson goes to first, back in safely as Gooch. Hamrick, the Griffin left fielder. Big wide open stance. Another throw to first, much closer this time. But Gooch still back there.
And a good play by Joseph Poole as Brent Johnson almost threw that one away.
Joseph Poole has sort of the ideal build for a first baseman. He's about 6'5", a basketball player definitely, and has been a fine baseball player for the Newton Rams, a varsity player last year, probably a starter most of the time at first base this year. In fact, you'll probably see him pitch some before it's over with. Stretch and the pitch, swung on, bounced right in front of the plate. This time Moon takes it. He's going to go to first, and he does that in time for the second out. Gooch goes over to second base yet again. Another 15-foot chop right in front of home plate.
That's true, Kevin. Anything hitting on that ground out in front of home plate just dies. A good play by Brian Moon. He took charge, called Brent Johnson off, and took the ball himself and just got the sure out down at first base. That's what a good catcher's got to do, and everybody's talking a lot about Brian Moon. Defensively, there's not too many high school catchers that have the skills that he does.
And we haven't had a chance much to see his arm against attempted base stealers. Last year, base stealers were 27 for 46 in stolen base attempts. Give you an idea of how that stacks up. The Rams were 85 out of 99 last year. Stretch and the pitch. Low and inside, ball 1.
That's really an unheard of percentage on any level, throwing out that many base runners. That's good.
Johnson to the belt. Matt East, second baseman for Griffin, is in there. Swings it, bounces one right in front of home plate. Johnson takes it. His throw to first is in time. We're playing a 55-foot game, ladies and gentlemen, so far in the first 2 innings. No score after 2 full innings of play here from Henry County High School in McDonald. Newton Ram baseball for 1995 here on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
Charles Evans Nissan refuses to be undersold. We will meet or beat any advertised price on any in-stock unit. If you are tired of high pressure and the runaround, come to Charles Evans Nissan in Conyers. We put the fun back into buying a car. Charles Evans Nissan is located at 1420 Iris Drive in Conyers, 922-7600. Remember, Charles Evans Nissan, we won't be undersold. That's 922-7600.
Hey, Carl, the greenskeeper here for the Hard Luck Cafe. You know, that's that little red building down by Nationwise. After a hard day hunting environments on the golf course, I love to stop by and get some hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. They've got them all the way from that extra mile up to my favorite, TNT. It's a real Cinderella story how Randy has become king of the wings. So stop by and see Randy or call him at 787-0421. When you do, tell him Carl sent you and maybe he'll give me a free wing or something. Remember, that's 787-0421.
It's the Best Buys of March going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza. Ace white leather palm gloves made of durable white cotton canvas available in small or large, $197 a pair. An 18-inch garage sweep from the National Brush Company, $588. Ace 5-star flat latex wall paint, $7.97 a gallon. And an Ace 8.5-inch clamp lamp, just $333. It's the Best Buys.
And as the folks here at Henry County do some raking of the area behind home plate, we want to tell you about something that we've been very excited about at WGFS. It will involve Newton baseball and the Hard Luck Cafe, Bill.
That's correct. It's called the Hard Luck Cafe Wing Ding Inning, similar to what the Braves used to do with the Goodies home run inning. It'll start next Saturday, and in a particular inning of the game, what you do is send in your name, address, and phone number to the radio station. If your name is drawn and a Ram player hits a home run during that inning, you will win hot wings courtesy of the Hard Luck Cafe.
And we'd like for you to send it to P.O. Box 869 Covington and put on there care of Newton Ram Baseball or care of one of us, Bill Dolan or Kevin Holden, and we'll be sure and get that and put you in the group of names to possibly be drawn and win some hot wings. And if during our wing ding inning a player hits a grand slam, the contestant wins 100 hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe.
That's correct. Or if instead of mailing it, if you want to just drop it by in person at 1151 Hendrick Street, or you could send it via fax if you'd like at 784-9892.
Chris Middlebrooks, the designated hitter, will lead it off for Newton County here in the third, and now time is called. Something going on behind the pitcher's mound. Drew Evans makes the adjustment and the correction. Middlebrooks did not hit in the first game of 1994. Last year in 6 at-bats, he had one hit, a double, very late in the season. Middlebrooks, one of the stronger people on this Ram team, played some varsity, some JV last year, takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. He's a good, strong hitter and will be a backup catcher to Brian Moon for this year, which probably means he won't get a lot of playing time behind the plate, but whenever Moon needs a rest, Middlebrooks will be available. Drew Evans goes into the wind, and the Griffin Bear pitcher delivers. Outside, Middlebrooks wanted to go after it, but held up 1-1.
Good eye. He had to check that swing. I believe he was the most valuable player on the junior varsity last year, wasn't he, Kevin?
That's exactly right. They gave that to him at the banquet, which was in late May last year. Middlebrooks swings, fouls one back to the screen, 1-2. Little interesting setup last year. Usually your banquet runs a month to a month and a half after the end of the season. The Rams played so late into 1994. Their last game was May 13th, and the banquet was May 26th or 27th. So they didn't have very much time to get things set up and get all the awards ready, but Middlebrooks was one of the award recipients at that banquet. The 1-2, a fastball outside 2-2, and Evans was looking for a little extra mustard on that one.
And like everything they do, the Dugout Club did an outstanding job on the banquet, and we were fortunate enough to be there, and it was a real enjoyable evening for everyone there.
We'll be looking forward to another one, but first we've got plenty of baseball to play. The 2-2 swung on, grounded towards second base. Matt East has it cleanly and on to first for the out.
Actually, still a good job of hitting by Middlebrooks there. He fought off that curveball and was able to make contact with it and went the other way with it, just didn't hit it real solid. Of course, then again, too, as soft as this infield is, you don't really know what it might have been a shot through the hole on a normal day on a drier field.
Matt Easterday will be the hitter. He's playing center field in this game. He will be the Ram shortstop of the future and played shortstop against Stockbridge Thursday. Takes a pitch high, 1-0. The way Easterday was hitting in that first game, he may not be in the 9 slot for very long, especially if the Ram hitting problems that they've had here in the first 10 innings continues. Rams have had 3 hits in the first 8 and some change innings here in 1995 as Easterday takes a strike on the outside corner. But Easterday ripped a double into the right field corner that might have had a chance to leave the ballpark if there'd been some wind blowing down that way, which there usually is. The 1-1, low, 2-1.
Drew Evans likes to go to that breaking ball, but he appears to be throwing about half breaking balls and half fastballs. The first pitch that Matt Easterday fanned on was on the outside part of the plate, a good fastball.
Big sets up around the outside part of the plate, gets one nearer to the inside part, but it catches the corner, and it runs even 2-2. Joe Brassfield down the third baseline gives his sign to his sophomore center fielder. And once again, the righty stands back in, the weight on his back foot. He swings and misses. Ball gets away from Meeks temporarily, but he tags Easterday, and that's out number 2 and the 4th strikeout for Drew Evans.
He's mixing up that breaking ball with the good fastball. That was a good high fastball up about the letters, and Matt Easterday just wasn't able to get around on it.
Bill, if you had told me that in the 3rd inning of the 2nd game of 1995 that the Rams would have only scored 2 runs but would have only allowed 1, I would have thought you were crazy. The offense was supposed to be the thing that would get the job done. Ryan Allen swings at the first pitch. It's away from the third baseman, goes toward the shortstop. Johnson's throw to first, not in time. Allen makes it to first. That ball hit hard toward Ron Miley, skipped off his glove and right to A.J. Johnson, and Allen was nearly out 5-6-3 at first base.
Good hustle by Ryan Allen getting down the line. I thought for a minute the umpire was going to try to punch him out, but he made the correct call as it appeared that the Ryan Allen and the ball got there simultaneously. It's slow running even going down the line because Ryan's normally a lot quicker than that. I figured it wouldn't even be a close play, but he ripped that ball. It was a shot that went off the third baseman Miley's glove, and the shortstop picked it up and made a good, strong throw. And in fact, had it not bounced, I think they might have gotten Ryan Allen at first base.
Now Brian Moon is the hitter. A walk in his first trip to the plate. He was stranded at second. In fact, before Ryan Allen just a moment ago, Moon had been the only Newton Ram base runner. Don't know what you'll see from Allen at first base with 2 down. The throw goes over there. He's back in safely. Last year, an 85% base stealer, 17 out of 20. And being in that leadoff spot, you'll see quite a few, at least stolen base attempts, if nothing else, from Ryan Allen.
Well, the leadoff man's got to do that. You got to make things happen, force things, and that almost paid off as the throw got away, because that's the kind of things that can happen. If you make them keep throwing over there, eventually they may throw it away, or balk, or they forget about the hitter. Just like the first game with the base runner on, if the runners, the infielders trying to get in behind him, they walked the next 2, and that ended up leading to the winning run in the game.
That throw to first base almost got away, but hit the fence down the first base side. Another throw over to first and back in safely is Ryan Allen, whose uniform will already be dirty now, only in the 3rd inning, diving back a couple of times back into first base. He'll have something to be proud of. The switch-hitting catcher, Brian Moon, takes a pitch outside. It's a ball, no strikes.
Ryan Allen faked a go on that play as he started off. In fact, you could hear the infielders yell going, and the catcher came up ready to throw, but he went back into first base.
So Moon digs back in. Third baseman Ron Miley staying back on the dirt part of the infield. Pitch is high, 2-0. He doesn't expect much with 2 outs, but we know that Brian Moon is the type that will lay down a bunt when you least expect it.
Of course, I'll tell you, as soft as that dirt is in front of the home plate, I think it's going to penalize a good bunter because it won't get out far enough. It'll die too soon, where the catcher will make the play instead of making the pitcher or one of the infielders come in and make the play.
Another throw to first base, and once again Allen is back in. They're paying close attention to him. He was second on the team in stolen bases last year. Matt Hires with 32 set a new team record. He was caught only 3 times. Hires now playing at Middle Georgia. Stretch and the pitch. Outside, 3-0. And once again, we see what good speed on the base paths does in terms of your hitter and messing up the concentration of the pitching and the defense.
That's right. He's concentrating so much on the runner first that he's forgetting about the Moondog up there. And at this point in time, you got Luke Allen and Sam Allen coming up next. You start messing around and putting people on base, it can hurt you.
The stretch from Drew Evans is cripple pitch, a called strike right down the pipe, 3-1.
The old automatic there, right down Ram Drive. Brian Moon taking all the way as Coach Brassfield gave him the take sign. But I think you're going to see Brian looking here for something he can drive. If it's his pitch, he's going to be teeing off on it.
Moon is still looking for his first hit of the 95 season. Another throw to first. and Allen once again is back in.
Right now, Ryan Allen definitely is leading in the dirty uniform contest, having dove back in about 5 or 6 times just in this at-bat of Brian Moon's.
The dirty uniform looks right for that type of player, though. Moon bunts it, but it's right out in front of home plate. The catcher, Ryan Meeks, picks it up and throws to first in time for the third out. Just what you were saying, Bill, that soft area in front of home plate made it so that the surprise bunt didn't work. It stayed right in front of home plate.
That's correct. It normally would have been a good bunt. He had the right direction, everything on it, but it just died. And as we talked about, Brian Moon is one of the premier bunters you'll see in high school baseball, but that soft ground is just going to take away the bunting game.
2.5 innings into this game, no score. Here from Craig Lunsford Stadium at Henry County High School in McDonough. We will be back. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Are you age 55 or older? We've reduced the cost of auto owners' homeowners insurance 20% in Georgia. Here's why. Our statistics show mature homeowners have fewer and less costly losses. So if you're 55 or older, it's only fair to charge you less for your homeowner's insurance. For mature homeowner savings, see your no-problem auto owner's insurance agent.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213.
Auto owners, the no-problem people.
For the best in chiropractic care, visit Lithonia First Chiropractic. Dr. Michael Brust specializes in nerve and spine rehabilitation. Call for an appointment, 482-1114, 482-1114. Most insurance accepted, and we take care of your insurance paperwork at no charge to you. Call Lithonia First Chiropractic at 3081 Stone Mountain Street in Lithonia, 482-1114, 482-1114.
Henry County High School South Metro Tournament, Newton Rams and Griffin Bears going head-to-head. Lynn Dunn takes the first pitch to him from Brent Johnson, high and tight. It's a ball, no strike, no score. Bottom half of inning number 3, Griffin, the home team here. The wind, the 1-0 pitch swung on, grounded weakly towards shortstop. Sam Allen comes over, goes off the mitt, and safe at first base will be Lynn Dunn. What's the scoring?
We'll give an error to Sam on the play. He tried to rush it a little bit. The ball just kind of came up on him. He's got to make that play.
So an E5, Sam Allen's first error of the year, allows Lynn Dunn, the leadoff batter for Griffin, the number 1 batter in the order, to be on base here with no one out. And A.J. Johnson will be up, grounded out catcher to first. We see a lot of 2-3s in the scorebook and 1-3s in the scorebook today. A lot of ground balls right in front of home plate and some of them back to the mound as well. Dunn takes his lead away. Staying put, and the first pitch is popped up into shallow center field. Easterday coming on, makes the catch for the first out, and Dunn returns to first base.
That looks pretty good out there. He got underneath that, corralled it, came in on it in pretty good shape, and then ran about halfway in instead of watching the runner to make sure what he was going to do. I think he does real well out in the outfield when he's not playing at shortstop.
Here's Ryan Meeks, owner of one of the 2 Griffin hits, back-to-back singles in the first inning. Johnson to the belt, now steps off, and Dunn retreats to first base.
Of course, nobody on either side has really torn the cover off the ball.
So far, the first 2 games of the year have definitely not been offensive-type games. Throw to first, Dunn is back in.
Actually, today we really haven't even had any loud foul balls. The hits have been the dribbler, C&I variety, except the one foul ball sticking up in the screen.
Luke Allen is the proud owner of the hit that made the ball stick in the top of the screen. Here at Henry County High School, they'll have some fun retrieving that. The throw to first, runner is back in safely. Close play. We thought for a moment the throw had gotten away from Joseph Poole.
I think Joseph thought he had him over there the way he came up, showing that he still had the ball. It was close.
Meeks still awaiting the first pitch his way. Stretch and that first pitch is a called strike. Here's a snap throw to first base. He is out. And Brian Moon, who patented that type of throw in 1994, he gunned down at least half a dozen, I think, that way in the Rams' 35 games last year. Picks a runner off of first base a la Benito Santiago.
Just a good, strong snap throw down there. Joseph Poole almost let the runner slide around him there. The ball beat him from me to you, but a good slide there, and he almost got around it, but a good tag by Poole.
The 0-1 catches the outside corner. 0-2 to Ryan Meeks, and instead of having the leadoff man on and one out, now the base is empty, 2 outs and an 0-2 count. And that pitch swung on it, bounced right back to the mound, deflects off of Johnson. He picks it up. His throw to first is in time, and Griffin goes down. No runs, no hits. There was one error. No one left on base after the pickoff from Brian Moon to Joseph Poole. And after 3 innings, still no score. Here as part of the South Metro Tournament, Rams and Griffin Bears from Henry County High School. We'll be back. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS, AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
We have reports of a traffic problem in Covington. We're going to go to Kevin Holden in the traffic copter with a report. Kevin.
Well, Todd, there appears to be a big traffic jam in the 7100 block of Highway 278. I think it's around a business area. Yes, I believe that's East Metro Communications. What's going on here?
Kevin, I've just been handed something that should help us figure this out. Thanks. Next time. This says Covington's oldest cellular agent, East Metro Communications, is running a special through March 11th. You can save $50 when you activate a phone with East Metro Communications. Also, Kevin, it says phones are as low as free.
Did you say $50 off activation? Phones as low as free? That's it. I'm going down for a closer look.
Kevin, don't do that. Kevin, no. No, Kevin, no. Kevin.
East Metro Communications, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796. Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. Individuals must meet certain credit requirements to be eligible for these plans.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County, Newton Ram Baseball. No runs for either side. Good pitching. Pretty good defense so far. Nobody really hitting the ball hard, and here to try to get some runs for the Rams, the voice of the Rams, Kevin Holden.
Bill, thank you. And in the 4th inning, Newton sends up Luke Allen, Sam Allen, and Richie Cleary, the meat of the order. So if they're going to try to put something on the board, this would be an inning to do it. In case you're wondering why it's Newton and Griffin from Henry County High School. Henry County is one of the hosts of the South Metro Tournament. This bracket involves several teams. There are other brackets, other schools that are hosts for this. Newton is in the Henry County bracket, in which Griffin is there, Mount Zion is there, Stockbridge is also there, and Henry County is also in this bracket. And the winners from each bracket will go to the finals, which will be held, I believe, the 18th of March, a Saturday. We'll check on that in just a moment. Luke Allen set to stand in. He struck out his first time back in the 1st inning. Those finals will be March 18th. That's a Saturday. And, of course, if the Rams are there, you'll hear it live on WGFS, as you hear every Ram game live right here on Covington's radio station. Evans wined his first pitch, a fastball, a couple feet outside. 1-0. Evans was rearing back for some extra fire with that pitch. Ended up throwing it way outside to the left-handed batter. Meeks gives the sign. Luke Allen also looking for his first hit of 1995. Here comes the wind, and Evans delivers. It is low, 2-0.
And, of course, WGFS, now the home of the Hard Luck Cafe Wing Dang inning, starting next Saturday.
We are hoping to start that with the Newton versus Henry County game next Saturday. Hopefully it will turn out well. The 2-0 is swung on, grounded right back to the mound. Evans has it, and his throw to first is in time, and another 1-3 in the scorebook for out number 1.
Once again, that ball hit in the dirt out in front of the plate, took all the steam off it to where it was a simple little roller back to the mound, and Drew Evans threw it about 100 miles an hour over to the first baseman on that plate. Who was the Major League pitcher? Well, Joaquin Andujar was pretty good at that throw, just gassing it over to first base.
Joaquin Andujar was good at a lot of strange things, and that's one of them. Sam Allen at the plate, the first pitch to him, a curveball, caught the inside corner for a strike. Sam Allen also struck out swinging his first time.
Had trouble with the curveball, and Drew Evans comes back and starts him right off with a curveball, and Sam in the hole.
Catcher setting up outside. The 0-1 is low, a ball and a strike. Was it Joaquin Andujar who said the one word that you can say for sure about baseball is, you never know?
I believe that was him.
The 1-1 on the way is behind Sam Allen with the fastball, and back to the screen. It goes to 2-1.
That's what's nice about high school baseball. Sam just steps out and swings the bat. If this was Major League Baseball, he would have charged them on, and we'd have a brawl and a fight going. But
despite the fact that Evans threw the same type of pitch with a lefty up there, and it just was having trouble getting it over. The 2-1 swung on and missed. Ball gets away from the catcher and back to the screen, but no one on, so this counts as a strike, 2-2.
Sam really anxious on that off-speed pitches and the breaking balls. I talked to him a little bit before the game, and he's ready to start hitting, but I think his timing's still just off a little bit, particularly on the off-speed stuff.
Well, as you and I both know, Sam Allen, the type of hitter who comes on hard and the bat heats up when the weather heats up. He was on fire last year down the stretch and in the state playoffs. And if he can hit very well, then he can be in a slump now, and I don't think too many people will mind. The wind, the 2-2 on the way to him, swung on and missed. Another off-speed pitch away, same pitch that Allen struck out on the first time up, now 2 down.
Sam, one of the few players you'll see out there without wearing a batting glove on either hand. That, particularly on a day like today, you might want to think you'd want to wear one, but in fact, Richie Clare, the next batter up, wears one on both hands. Of course, most Major League players you see today, almost all of them wear 2 batting gloves now.
Especially early in the season, the batting gloves would be very helpful because a pitch inside can really sting the hands. Drew Evans winds his first pitch to Cleary, swung on and missed. That pitch was well outside, a fastball, 0-1.
Richie likes to get up there and first pitch hack away, and he was guessing fastball, but it was just a little bit out of the strike zone there.
Cleary grounded out to third base his first time up. The 0-1 to him is low, a ball and a strike. Drew Evans has retired 11 of the last 12 men he has faced. Ryan Allen single in the third inning. The only batter he did not retire. The 1-1 swung on, grounded hard down the third baseline. Miley with a backhanded stab is throw to first in time for out number 3. A nice play down the third base line from Ron Miley, and for the second time, Cleary grounds out to third base. We have played 3.5 innings here at Henry County High School. Your score, Newton High School nothing, Griffin High School nothing. We'll be back after this. Newton Ram Baseball here on WGFS, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
If you bury your nose in a cloud of sawdust and breathe deep, you're going to get choked up. Unless you're the new Husqvarna 36 chainsaw with air injection filtering, now available at Coast to Coast Home and Auto. Husqvarna's exclusive air injection saws run up to 20 times cleaner than any other saw on the market. With the Husky 36, you can work harder and longer without stopping for a filter change. What's more, an ergonomic design means that you can last nearly as long as your Husky. An angled front grip puts you in a comfortable working position that's less prone to fatigue, and vibration is kept to a minimum by separating the handles and engine unit. At only $199.95, you can't buy a better saw for home or farm than the Husqvarna 36 with air injection. So to keep your nose clean, stop by Coast to Coast Home and Auto on the Square in Covington to see the 36 and our entire line of quality Husqvarna products.
Welcome to Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County, as we are participating in the
South Metro Tournament.
South Metro Tournament. Thank you. I lost it for a minute there. Had a little brainwave go away. The South Metro Tournament. That's why we're in Henry County. And thanks for bailing me out, Kevin Holden. Now pick up the play-by-play.
Okay, Bill. Let's see if we can bail the Rams out and have them help keep Griffin scoreless. Sending to the plate, Griffin in the fourth inning. Ron Miley, Drew Evans, and Jimmy Saucedo, 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Johnson's wide, his first pitch, high and tight to Ron Miley, 1-0. That'll happen occasionally with Johnson with that fastball righting into the right-hander. And Miley is right there close to the inside corner of the plate. Next pitch to him high, 2 balls, no strikes.
He does hug that plate really in tight, particularly for a hard-throwing righty. He's digging in pretty well, especially one with the tailing fastball like what Brent Johnson does.
Jamie Cassidy, the Griffin High School coach, down the line at third, gives the signals. The 2-0, swung on and popped up toward right field. It'll bounce in for a base hit. Horton over to cut it off. His throw in is a good one and will hold the runner at first base. Horton missed his cutoff man, but threw the ball right to second base where Luke Allen was covering from short.
Trail got a late break on the ball, but got over and was able to cut it off. I thought for a minute it was going to get by him and go to the wall, but he was able to cut it off and made the
base hit. Drew Evans will be the hitter, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. In fact, Johnson, out of a big-time jam, striking out Evans in the first. He swings and misses at an outside pitch, 0-1.
Good pitch there, just off the corner, about the knees. It looked good enough for Drew Evans to go after, and he just wasn't able to come up with it.
Johnson looking like he's starting to establish the fastball a little more as the game goes along. Still an occasional wild one. Last year in his 6 innings, Johnson walked 9 batters and struck out 8. He only gave up 4 hits, though. The stretch and the pitch, missing off the outside corner with the fastball, 1-1.
Hey, once again, that ground down there, I watched Brian Moon walking around, and it's like he's out on the beach. It's so sandy down there.
Third of first, a runner is back in safely. The folks here at Henry County High School have been doing some revamping to their field, and Mother Nature hasn't been terribly nice to them after they've made these changes. It's been raining, as you know, for quite a while. That makes for some sloppy conditions. Pitch is swung on and fouled back behind the screen. Count goes to 1-2 to Drew Evans. Johnson, with 1 strikeout in 3+ innings, has allowed 3 hits. Has not walked a batter.
That's a good sign when Brent's not walking people. That means he's right around the plate, throwing strikes, giving his infielders a chance to make the play.
The pitch swung on and missed. A good 2-strike pitch. Couple of inches off the outside black, and Evans going after it and swinging and missing.
Once again, that ball had that little bit of movement and tail away from the left-handed batter there. It started out looking real good right over the outside part of the plate, tailed away. Just a real good pitch. And if he can throw that type of pitch against the lefty, he's going to be real successful.
It's kind of like a right-hander's version of a screwball, and a left-handed batter facing a right-handed pitcher just isn't used to seeing that type of ball that tails away. Jimmy Salcido will be the hitter. Griffin, their first baseman, grounded back to the mound his first time. He is bunting this time right out in front of the plate. It's called a foul ball as it's just to the third base side.
Once again, any type of bunt out in front of that plate just dies. I think Brian Moon would have had a chance at him down second base. He was on top of it so quickly, but the umpire called it foul. And it's just hard to really get a good bunt down.
No runs, 3 hits in the game for Griffin. For Newton, no runs on only 1 hit. The single by Ryan Allen in the 3rd inning. Once again, the Ram bats are quiet. Once again, a surprise. We expected the bats to be what would carry Newton County this year. It's been quite the opposite. The 0-1, runner was faking a steal. The pitch is low. A ball and a strike.
But you have to be encouraged by the outing of Brent Johnson so far. He's thrown strikes. Like you said, he hasn't walked anybody, keeping the ball played. Very few balls hit hard off him. Even the last hit was just kind of a looping line drive into right field.
Runner is going on the 1-1 pitch. It is swung on and grounded right out in front of home plate. Once again, it is called foul, as it was right in the same place as that bunt, just a little to the third base side, and right out in that sandy area in front of home plate. 1-2.
I think Brian's probably fielded 10 balls right there. It's something you normally don't see in half a season, so many balls right there at the edges of the plate. Brent Johnson did not do a very good job of holding the runner on that time, allowing him to get just a huge running start from the play, and finally would have had the base stolen had it not been a foul ball.
Johnson's high leg kick means he's going to have to throw to first a little more than most pitchers to try to keep those runners close to first base. Poole is standing at first base trying to hold him close. Runner is not going this time. The pitch swung on, just got a piece of it, fouled it off. It remains 1-2 to Jimmy Salcido. Brett Johnson has induced 6 ground ball outs, 3 back to the pitcher, 2 to the catcher, and 1 to the shortstop. Second base and third base have seen absolutely nothing so far.
And just 1 or 2 fly balls, I believe.
Yesterday caught the 1 in the 3rd inning. There's a throw to first. Runner is back. And that's the only fly ball out of this game so far. That pop fly into center off the bat of A.J. Johnson last inning. Miley leading away, a ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch is swung on and popped up right behind us and out of play behind the screen, and again it's 1-2.
Good moving fastball there, and Saucedo was not able to get around on a fouled it back. And I'm impressed with the job Brent Johnson's doing. He's right around the plate has good control on his pitches and both his breaking balls, off-speed stuff, and his fastball.
Johnson's one of those pitchers that's the key to the Rams' success this year. He will need to step up. The 1-2 is low. pitching may be the difference this year if it can step up and do the job. The 2-2 swung on, bounced foul, and it remains 2-2. Saucedo doing a great job of two-strike innings, staying alive. Fouled off several pitches here with 2 strikes.
And once again, Miley with a huge jump off of first base on the play, as Brent Johnson ignored him a little bit. Didn't even really look over there and let him really get a running start. When Brent throws over there and keeps an eye on him, he'll keep it a little closer, but if he forgets about him, Miley's off to the races.
Rams are playing in their second game of the season and second in the South Metro tournament. There's the swing at another ground ball right at home plate, and it's still 2-2 to Jimmy Saucedo. The Rams beat Stockbridge Thursday by a score of 2-1. And so far, this game scoreless after that 2-1 game on Thursday where the Rams beat Stockbridge. They still have Mount Zion and Henry County left to play inside of this bracket. Rams will play their next game inside the South Metro next Saturday. They'll take on Henry County right here, Craig Lunsford Stadium in McDonough. Johnson's stretch is 2-2. Swung on it, bounced towards short. Luke Allen will have to charge. No play at second. His throw to first is in the dirt. It gets away from Poole. A runner heads for third. He will be in there. Sliding into third base. No need to do so. There was no throw to third. The runners now at first and third. Allen was having to rush to make the play, but his throw bounced a good 10 feet in front of first base.
I believe you have to call that an error on the throw on Luke Allen, because a good throw gets him, and also that also allowed the other base runner to move up. So
runners now first and third, 1 out. Johnson had to pitch out of a jam similar to this back in the first. Here, instead of facing the number 5 man in the order, he has number 7 and 8. Micah Gooch is the hitter. Gooch has seen one pitch, and he saw it very well, saw it hit him in the shoulder back in the second inning. And Gooch ended up being stranded at second base. One of 3 runners that Griffin has stranded so far. Check that, 2 runners. Called strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Brent Johnson needs to just get over that error, just come back, bear down. This is the hitter he needs to get without allowing anything to move up or try to come across the plate.
It was sliding around home plate, but Moon also doing a good job of sweeping the tag across.
Very good play by both players. Like you said, Brent Johnson got rid of the ball in a real hurry. That was the key. He gave Brian Moon the opportunity to take the time to go find the runner and make the tag. And he did. Brian with once again exhibiting his excellent defensive skills behind the plate.
Interesting that Ron Miley went on such a weakly hit ground ball, only 20 or 30 feet out in front of home plate. Of course, that's a monster shot compared to some of them today. There's a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count to Charlie Hamrick, who grounded out catcher to first his first time.
Of course, in a game like this where there aren't any runs going, if you can manufacture one, you try to get what you can, because 1 run may be enough today, as silent as the bats have been.
Well, Johnson has certainly helped himself. Instead of first and third and 1 out, he now has first and second, 2 outs, not completely out of the woods, but in much better shape. And facing the number 8 man in the order, his 0-1 is outside. It's a ball and a strike.
Plus, you've got a lot less speed on the bases now with Jimmy Saucedo down at second base instead of Miley at third base, so that helps a lot.
Ryan Allen holding Saucedo fairly close to the bag down there. The 1-1 on the way. Inside, nearly hit him. It's 2-1. That fastball almost got away from Johnson.
Once again, that's that tailing fastball coming in and started out inside and almost came in. That's the one thing he doesn't want to do right now to the 8th place hitter.
The Rams senior pitcher to the belt, and he delivers. High and outside, ball 3, throw down to first base, not in time. Good idea from Moon trying to catch that runner napping at first base. Going back in diving was Gooch.
Kind of a little bit of a dangerous play with a runner out on second. Brian got rid of the ball in plenty of time. Had to throw Ben to the second base side of the bag. They would have had him because it looked like the ball got down there, but Joseph Poole had to field it in foul territory and then turn around and try to make a sweep tag.
Here's the stretch, the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, just got a piece of it, fouled it back, 3-2. Something Brent Johnson is doing much, much better this year and will make him a much better pitcher as he is hiding his pitches. When he was a junior and especially when he was a sophomore, on his way to deliver the ball, he'd bring his back arm far behind his head, and you could tell, a hitter could tell immediately if he was throwing a fastball or a curveball. I think that hurt him, especially later in the year when the hitters had those sharper eyes. He's hiding the ball much better now than he did the last 2 years. The 3-2, swung on, just got a piece of it, hit it a couple of feet behind him, remains full, 3-2.
His mechanics do seem quite a bit smoother than what they were last year, and as you said, he's keeping the ball hidden. He's keeping it in his glove a little longer and not really showing the ball, showing the grip away. I don't know who worked with him on that, or if it just kind of came about naturally, but it has been a big improvement for him. He's not tipping his pitches, as you were saying.
I think it also makes him less wild, keeping the arm closer to his body when he delivers the ball. As we mentioned, his control troubles last year, and so far in this game, we haven't seen a walk from him yet. Knock on wood, the 3-2. Instead, he steps off, and the runners go back to first and second. First and second for the Griffin Bears with 2 down, full count. In a scoreless game, the 3-2 swung on and grounded out towards short. Allen will get a chance to redeem himself and makes the play, and his throw is in time. And Johnson has gotten himself out of another jam. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Newton error and 2 more runners left on base, leaving 5 in the game for the Griffin Bears. We have played 4 innings, no score from Henry County High School. We'll be back at Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
It's the Best Buys of March going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza. A Keller 6-foot aluminum stepladder, only $25.88. An ever-ready floating lantern, $3.99. Quick-set entry lock or deadbolt, just $7.97 each. An Enforcer drain care, $4.88. It's the Best Buys of March going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
Charles Evans Nissan refuses to be undersold. We will meet or beat any advertised price on any in-stock unit. If you are tired of high pressure and the runaround, come to Charles Evans Nissan in Conyers. We put the fun back into buying a car. Charles Evans Nissan is located at 1420 Iris Drive in Conyers, 922-7600. Remember, Charles Evans Nissan. We won't be undersold. That's 922-7600.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County, Newton Rams baseball, as they're participating in the South Metro Tournament on a Saturday. Saturday, one of the big days of the week for WGFS, starting each Saturday morning with Encore, followed by the Saturday morning Super Trivia Spectacular, and then Sports Source Weekly from 10 to 12, Car Talk with Jim Burton, and either American Gold or Newton Ram baseball, depending on what happens. If the Rams play on Saturday, we'll preempt American Gold. Otherwise, it runs from 3 to 7. Joseph Poole, the first batter up for the Rams, takes a pitch low, 1-0. Drew Evans whined, and his pitch swung on and hit hard but foul over by first base coach Derek Coggins with hands in pockets. Watched with alarm as that one went by. It's 1-1. The Rams still with only 1 hit in this game, a single from Ryan Allen. They'll need to improve on that if they hope to break the scoreless tie. Going to take something to get some. They got to get some runners on base and get some things going. They really haven't even had very many base runners. But that ball was tagged pretty well, pulled foul by Joseph Poole, but he did get around good on it. One of the louder foul balls of the day.
Poole has hit a couple of balls well. He popped out to center field his last time. Well hit ball there as well. A 1-1 pitch, high and outside, as Evans tried to drop an off-speed pitch in, but it stayed up 2-1.
And in the game Thursday night, he hit a rocket shot to center field that was caught, and then had a little bleeding-eyed single that barely got through the first second base hole.
Here's the wind, the 2-1 on the way to Joseph Poole. It is taken for ball 3. 3-1 to the big Ram first sacker, who has 1 for 3 now on the season with a couple of flyouts to center field. Poole may be the hottest right now of the Ram hitters, despite being only just over a 300 hitter. Takes one on the outside corner as Evans drops in the curveball, 3-2.
Kind of a late breaking curveball there. Looked like it might have broke a little bit late, but the umpire gave the call to Drew Evans.
Now a payoff pitch is due here to Joseph Poole. Trail Horton on deck. Pitch is outside, ball 4. And the Rams have their third base runner of the game. That's the second walk by Drew Evans, who has struck out 5.
And don't be surprised if Trail Horton sees a couple of number 2 coming his way. The curveball, he had a little trouble with it last time, and having just returned to baseball after a year off, I think you can figure on he's going to see that breaking ball till he learns to adjust to it.
And the Ram right fielder waiting to hit, but Drew Evans steps off for just a moment. And only 3 balls in this game have left the infield. That's both teams combined. Absolutely amazing. 2 flyouts from Newton County bats and 1 from a Griffin bat. That's a total of only 3. There's a swing and a hard ground ball towards second. East has to range. His throw to second is in time, but on to first not in time. Trail Horton uses the good speed to leg it out. It'll be 1 out now and a more speedy runner at first base.
Good play by the second baseman, Matt East. I was kind of surprised that he went to second base, as Joseph Poole had gotten a pretty good jump off the bag, but he made a good play, and Joseph Poole did a good job of going into the shortstop to make sure that he didn't get a good throw off. And, of course, Trail Horton with good speed had no problem beating it out.
And we'll see what Trail Horton does here despite the field conditions. You may see him go as Coach Brassfield tries to get something going. He is going. It's a hit and run, but the ball is popped up foul out of play. 0-1.
And Chris Middlebrooks had a good cut on the play. I don't know if that was a straight steal and Chris was just trying to hit, or if the hit and run was on. It looked like Trail was just off and running on a straight steal attempt, though.
Middlebrooks a ground out to second base in his first at bat a few innings back. Throw goes over to first, close one. Trail is back in safely.
He was definitely leaning again and barely did get turned and back into the base. That was a good pickoff attempt by Drew Evans, and he almost did get him.
Horton is one of those players who you believe will improve as the season goes along. He's a raw talent, and as the games move along, you can expect more and more from him. Pitch is high, a ball and a strike. To the Ram DH, Chris Middlebrooks, batting for Brett Johnson. Top half of the fifth inning, still no score. Throw to first base, and Trail Horton is back.
Once again, that throw just a little bit high. Had it been down at about field level, I think they would have had him picked off because he was leaning again.
On deck is Matt Easterday. The stretch and the pitch is high. Here's another throw down to first base, this time not quite as close as Horton goes back in.
And I believe Trail's taking over the dirty uniform lead now.
He and Ryan Allen can call themselves the dirt players of this game so far.
And mysteriously, Sam Allen still with a clean uniform this year.
Much to his chagrin, I'm sure. He sees the other uniforms, and I'm sure before it's over with, he'll do something to get his dirty. Throw to first. Very close again, and again, Trail Horton is back. He's got a big lead over there. Still learning to read the pitcher's pickoff move to first base. He's a little slower coming back to the bag.
This is the time where Chris Middlebrooks really needs to dig in because the pitcher is paying so much attention.
And the 2-1 is high, 3 balls and a strike, and once again we see it. The speed of Horton taking half of the pitcher's mind away from the hitter, and here he's behind 3-1 to a strong hitter in Middlebrooks. East gives the sign. Evans is to the belt, is 3-1 on the way. Inside, ball 4. Horton was going for second base. He can stop running quite as hard. He's got second base free. And first and second with 1 out with Matt Easterday up. Another fairly hot Newton Ram hitter.
And Coach Brassfield out there yelling something to Trail Horton out there, making sure he understands the situation and what to do. Of course, as we know, Trail didn't play baseball last year, so he's got to get brushed up on situations. That's normally a lot of the problems, individual situations, what to do. So the coach doing a good job of keeping him informed out there.
Horton has had his share of baseball experience. He has just taken some time off and perfected his hoop skills, and we saw that this year. And Brassfield is looking for the same type of results in baseball as he got from Horton in basketball. Pitch is outside, 1-0 now. Of course, Brassfield is not involved in the coaching in basketball, but I'm sure he saw the terrific performance that Trail had and needed some speed for his team this year, so had Horton come out. And Horton will be starting quite a bit in right field if he shows Brassfield a good hitting ability. Runners take their leads from first and second. Evans is to the belt, the throw to second base. Horton is back in, a pretty close play over there. A.J. Johnson nearly blocked off second base.
A good play, but in the meanwhile, it was almost a bad play because the throw was off the bag, and had A.J. been a little closer to the bag, it might have gone by him out into the outfield. That is a dangerous play out there when you've got everybody converging at the same time. A lot of times the ball can hit the runner and go off into center field, and then you pick up the extra base.
Horton may have been a little shaken up at second. Joe Brassfield called time for just a moment. Took a couple of steps out that way, but was motioned away by Trail Horton. Now Easterday digs back in with a count of 1-0 as the Rams try to put something on the board. Pitch is a called strike on the off-speed, 1-1.
And once again, you like to see the pitchers worrying so much about the runner down at second because now Matt Easterday can just dig in and look for something. He can drive into the outfield and get perhaps the first run of the ball game home.
A combined total of 4 hits from both teams so far. The 1-1 is low, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'm kind of surprised that he's really paying that much attention to Trail down at second base now. I don't really feel that it's a threat for him to go. in this particular situation, but he is paying a lot of attention and taking his mind off the task at hand, getting the batter out.
Also notice Easterday has been taking his cuts, not moving the runners over to set up the lead-up batter. Ryan Allen, who owns the only Newton Ram hit so far. Easterday swings and pops one up to left center field. Hamrick and Dunn both going back on it. Dunn near the warning track makes the catch. Horton tagging at second. He will be into third safely. The throw down to second will not be made. Both runners advance. Lynn Dunn was deep out there in center field. Well hit from Matt Easterday, who's hit a couple of very hard balls in his last couple of games. Advances both the runners, just not with the sacrifice bunt.
That's correct, and that ball did go towards the deepest part of the ballpark, what we were talking about there. And kind of you wonder whether or not the shortstop should have cut that ball off and snap it down to second base instead of letting the other runner move up. Good heads-up base running, though, on the play by Middlebrooks, going ahead and moving up, too. So now a base hit by Ryan Allen can bring in 2 instead of just 1.
And Ryan Allen is 1 for 2, a single and a fly out to left field. And you have to wonder, with 2 outs, good speed at third base, pretty good speed at home plate, if the field conditions right there at home plate weren't a little different, if maybe Coach Brassfield might try a little something since the Rams have had that trouble putting runs on the scoreboard. We will see what happens. Evans wind, his first pitch is by the catcher and back to the screen. Here comes Horton trying to score. He is across, standing up. And the first run of the game goes in Newton County's favor, 1-0.
And once again, how big is that drive that Matt Easterday hit, advancing the runners, and now you've still got another runner on third base. So that play allowing Middlebrooks to move up to second instead of keeping him at first is bigger now, too, because wild pitch, anything such as that, and the run can score like it just did there. That's a big run in this game with the way the pitching's been.
In the first game of the season, Lance Coffin, through 6 innings, reached his pitch count limit. Coach Brassfield has a very strict pitch count limit early in the season as to not tire out a pitcher's arm early in the year. Brent Johnson has got to be approaching his pitch count limit. Now, without walking people, he's done a good job of staying under it, but he's thrown 4 innings. And the pitch count is about 60 pitches before Coach will bring in Sam Allen. But you've got to think that we may see him at least fairly shortly. And Sam's little brother Luke Allen came in and closed the game out for Coffin, so we may see the Allen brothers picking up a pair of saves here. Of course, we've got a lot of baseball to play before that happens.
That's true, and a lot of Allens as we have another Allen up at the plate.
So Allen looking for another RBI to maybe set it up for Sam Allen to close things out. As Evans will now pitch from the windup. Middlebrooks leading away from third base. The pitch is a called strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
See, now Evans is bearing down and just worrying about the hitter instead of the base runner, and he's a much more effective pitcher.
Throwing a lot more near the strike zone and more effective pitches. The 1-1 is low. 2 balls and a strike.
That's why it is so important, any way you can, to get those base runners on, disrupt things, and that's what speed can do for you. Trail Horton had them worried, obviously, and it paid off as it manufactured a run.
Allen awaits the 2-1 offering. It's on the way outside. And a good play from Meeks to keep that one from going by him and back to the screen and possibly having another one scored. 3-1, 3-1 to Ryan Allen with Brian Moon on deck.
Not a whole lot of room behind home plate, but Trail Horton scored easily on the play, came in standing up really without a throw.
Here comes the wind by Drew Evans and his pitch on the way. It's outside. That may be ball 3. Scoreboard originally read 2-1, 3-1. It was 2-1. The count is now 3-1 to Ryan Allen. Moon was awaiting his chance. He had the shin guards off and was trekking up toward home plate, but Brian will have to wait at least one more pitch.
I guess he thought it was ball 4, too.
Moon's just ready for his first RBI opportunity of the year. As the 3-1 is a called strike outside corner. Count runs full 3-2. The Rams have done this inning, scoring a run without the benefit of a base hit. There have been a couple of walks, a sacrifice fly, a fielder's choice on a ground ball, and a wild pitch. Wind by Evans, the payoff pitch. Allen swings and misses at a curveball. And that'll do it for Ryan Allen and the Rams here in the 5th inning. They do put a run across, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base, and after 4.5, your score is Newton 1, Griffin nothing. We'll be back with more after this Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
We have reports of a traffic problem in Covington. We're going to go to Kevin Holden in the traffic copter with a report. Kevin.
Well, Todd, there appears to be a big traffic jam in the 7100 block of Highway 278. I think it's around a business area. Yes, I believe that's East Metro Communications. What's going on here?
Kevin, I've just been handed something that should help us figure this out. Thanks. Next time. This says Covington's oldest cellular agent, East Metro Communications, is running a special through March 11th. You can save $50 when you activate a phone with East Metro Communications. Also, Kevin, it says phones are as low as free.
Did you say $50 off activation? Phones as low as free? That's it. I'm going down for a closer look.
Kevin, don't do that. Kevin, no. No, Kevin, no. Kevin.
East Metro Communications, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796. Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. Individuals must meet certain credit requirements to be eligible for these plans.
WGFS AM 1430 will get right back to baseball, but first this update. Kentucky over LSU, 127-80. Wake Forest, 83-68 winners over North Carolina State. Missouri pulling off the win over Oklahoma, 83-81. And number 17, Purdue, 69-56 winners over Illinois. Back to you guys.
Stadium. Thanks for the update, Todd Chapman. And looks like Missouri did come up with the beat the point and a half like you thought they wouldn't this morning. But meanwhile, we're with Ram baseball, and good news if you're a Ram fan is they managed to manufacture a run, and here to see if they can keep them holding, Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much, Bill Dolan. Brett Johnson still out there, so apparently he has not reached the pitch limit. Somewhere here in the next inning or two, we should see Sam Allen as Johnson approaches 60 pitches. WGFS, call us your sports monster as we bring you college basketball updates from throughout the SEC. That's some score with Kentucky putting 127 on the board, beating their opponent 127-80. Johnson's first pitch to Matt East is high and outside with a fastball, a ball, no strikes. Matt East, Lynn Dunn, and A.J. Johnson, the three batters due up here for Griffin. There's a called strike on the inside corner, 1-1. East grounded back to the pitcher his first time. As the scoreless tie was finally broken in the top half of this inning, there's a swing and a miss. At an off-speed pitch, it's 1-2.
And it just goes to show you once again in that NCAA, there really is no clear-cut favorite, and anybody could really win that this year, I think.
1-2 on the way, high and tight, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This goes to show you can tell with what's happened with the teams that have been number one. Number one has been as much a jinx as it has been a help to all the teams that have been up there this year. UCLA, with a 2-week hold on number one, becomes a veteran of the spot compared to the other teams. The 2-2 right out in front of the mound, right out in front of home plate, and Brian Moon takes it, throws it to first for the out, and East comes up limping down at first base, holding his left foot, pointing toward his left toe. He's down there limping at first. That ball was hit about 2 feet in front of home plate. Moon pounced on it immediately.
I think he's trying to say he might have fouled the ball off his toe as looked like he was pointing it to the umpire there, but they didn't check for shoe polish, so I guess that old ploy didn't work this time.
I don't know if they use shoe polish the same way they did back in the '69 World Series. Lynn Dunn is 0 for 2, a ground out, and he reached on an error. And Johnson's first pitch on the way to him is a little bit low, 1-0.
If it was low, it wasn't below by much. Good-looking pitch, and Brent's still exhibiting real good control here.
1-0 is on the way, and it's high. 2 balls, no strikes, and as we mentioned before, Brent Johnson will be a lot like Judd Hall was last year for the Newton Rams. The fewer walks he has, the better chance he has of winning the game. There's a strike on the inside corner, 2-1. But then again, you have the feeling these first 2 games have been a lot like the Braves were a few years back. The pitchers pitch great games, but don't get a whole lot of support. You'll have a lot of 1-0 and 2-1 games. There's a swing and a pop fly, foul territory, first base side. Joseph Poole gives chase right up there on the fence trying to make the play. He definitely gave that a big-time effort, but it fell beyond his reach. That's a pretty wide reach, 2-2.
And I noticed Lance Cawthon down throwing in behind the Rams dugout, so you may be right about Sam coming in to pitch shortly. I imagine Lance might go in at third base.
Lance Cawthon is the backup third baseman, as Coach Brassfield mentioned this morning on Sports Source Weekly. So we may see something from Sam Allen here fairly shortly. The wind, the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That was an off-speed pitch and well placed. Second out of the inning and the third strikeout for Brett Johnson.
That was by far the best off-speed pitch Brent's thrown. Just a good straight change and really had him off balance on it. Good pitch, good location, and had the batter completely offside looking for the heat.
Here's A.J. Johnson, owner of one of the 3 balls that has left the infield, a fly out to center field. First pitch to him is a strike. Good fastball tailed in, caught the inside corner 0-1.
Brent doesn't appear to have lost anything on it, but the coach pretty strong on that pitch count, I know.
He doesn't want to blow out anybody's arm early in the season. Strike 2 called to him. Something that happened to him when he was pitching a lot early in the season. He said he hurt his arm one year, and as a result does not want to do that to any of his pitchers, and wisely so. As tough as Region 8 Quad A South is, you need every horse you can have out there. The 0-2 swung on and grounded hard towards second base. Ryan Allen dives to try to make the play, but can't come up with it. It's a base hit for Johnson.
That ball had eyes once again just into the hole in right field. Ryan was playing up the middle with the right-handed batter up there. That's too bad because the pitch right before that was probably the best breaking ball Brent's thrown all day. It really had the good snap on it. But that ball not hit hard, but in a good spot, as Wee Willie Keeler used to say, hit them where they aim.
That's exactly what happened. And Johnson at first with the 4th hit for Griffin. Newton still with only 1 hit in the 5 hits in the game. All of them have been singles. We haven't seen a single extra base hit so far. Johnson leads away from first, and the first pitch swung ungrounded past Joseph Poole at first and into right field for a base hit. Rounding second is Johnson. He'll hold up there. Ryan Meeks with that base hit. Back-to-back singles, and now first and second with 2 down, and Johnson, who was cruising just a few moments ago, thanks to a couple of seeing eye ground balls, is in a little bit of trouble here, facing the cleanup batter with 2 on.
Right, but once again, neither one of those balls really hit hard, just kind of ground balls, and right in between the first and second base. And here comes Coach Brassfield out. I believe he's going to go ahead and make the change now.
And the Newton Rams will go to their new pitcher, Sam Allen, when they do. And while they do, we'll take this break right here on WGFS AM 1430. Newton Ram Baseball brought to you by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
For the best in chiropractic care, visit Lithonia First Chiropractic. Dr. Michael Brust specializes in nerve and spine rehabilitation. Call for an appointment, 482-1114, 482-1114. Most insurance accepted, and we take care of your insurance paperwork at no charge to you. Call Lithonia First Chiropractic at 3081 Stone Mountain Street in Lithonia, 482-1114, 482-1114.
Hey, Carl, the greenskeeper here for the Hard Luck Cafe. You know, that's that little red building down by Nationwide. After a hard day hunting varmints on the golf course, I love to stop by and get some hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. They've got them all the way from that extra mile up to my favorite, TNT. It's a real Cinderella story how Randy has become king of the wings. So stop by and see Randy or call him at 787-0421. When you do, tell him Carl sent you and maybe he'll give me a free wing or something. Remember, that's 787-0421.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium. The Rams have made a pitching change. Here to tell you about it, Kevin Holden.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Sam Allen is the new pitcher. Lance Coffin has gone in to play third base. Brent Johnson out of the game. Middlebrooks will continue to DH. He'll be DHing for the third baseman, Coffin. Sam Allen has to have some butterflies. It's his first varsity pitching appearance. He's been a third baseman the last year and some change since transferring to Newton High School, and he is in the process of taking his warm-up tosses. Brent Johnson pitched 4 2/3 innings. The last batter he faced, Ryan Meeks, hit a base hit that just went past Joseph Poole and into right field. 2 kind of seeing eye base hits knocked Johnson from this game. He faced a total of 21 batters. He has not given up a run yet. He gave up a total of 5 base hits, did not walk a batter. That is the key. Put a star by that one. That's important. And he struck out 3.
Now, Sam did a little bit of catching last year, if I remember. He was basically the backup to the Moondog, caught several games, but now he's on the other side of the battery.
That's exactly right, and the first man that he will be facing is Ron Miley, so welcome to high school baseball here in the South Metro Tournament, as you have 2 men on, 2 outs, 5th inning, and a cleanup man up, and your team up by only 1 run.
Tough situation.
Ron Miley is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, so Johnson definitely did not fool him. Allen's first pitch is low with the fastball, 1-0.
I think Coach was hoping to be able to make the change at the start of the next inning, but when Brent got in a little bit of trouble and threw a few more pitches, I guess he felt it was time to go ahead and make the change.
And the 1-0 is a called strike, another fastball, 1-1. And Jeffrey Norman is warming up in the Newton bullpen just in case anything happens with Sam Allen. Moon gives the sign and Allen delivers outside, 2-1. A former catcher throwing to the current catcher. We've been used to seeing Allen at third base, Sam Allen that is. Now on the hill, the 2-1. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike.
He's close with everything. He's not real wild, but it's just a couple inches off the plate. But the one thing he doesn't want to do is load the bases right now. So he needs to really come in with a strike, but he doesn't want to throw a cripple pitch here to Miley.
Allen is to the belt. His 3-1 is high and outside, ball 4. With that walk, the bases will now be loaded with 2 outs. And a big situation now as Drew Evans is the hitter. A strikeout victim both times up. Evans struck out looking in the first and swinging in the fourth, but both of those came against the first pitcher of the night, Brent Johnson.
Looks like Sam's probably going to go off the full windup, which should be to his advantage, give him a chance to relax and just try and throw some strikes here.
His wind and first pitch, a called strike outside part of the plate, 0-1. Evans stepped out of the batter's box and gave kind of a long look back at the home plate umpire there. A runner at every base, and the 0-1 is swung on and missed. Allen keeping the ball close to the outside corner, 0-2.
He's keeping it down pretty well, too. That would have been a tough pitch to hit, and if he does hit it, he'll pound it into the ground, hopefully, where one of the Ram infielders can make the play.
Now 1 strike away from being out of yet another jam. The wind, the 0-2 pitch, swung on and hit hard to right field. Trail Horton is there, though, and makes the catch. And Griffin leaves the bases loaded. They have now left 8 men on in 5 innings. No runs, 2 hits, no Newton Ram errors, and those big 3 men left on base. And after 5 innings, 1-0 your score. The Rams maintain the slim lead. We'll be back after this Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible in part by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
333. It's the Best Buys of March going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium as we recollect after a good catch by Trail Horton there to get out of the inning, and here with the Rams next at bat and get us some runs, Kevin Holden.
Brian Moon, Luke Allen, Sam Allen, the next 3 men due up here for the Rams. In the 6th, they have a 1-0 lead. They scored their 1 run in an inning in which they didn't even get a base hit. Pitch is outside, 1-0. We ranted and raved early on before the season started about how the Rams offense should be the key. The Ram offense has a total of 4 hits in 2 games. A 1-0 to Brian Moon hit him out near the front shin, maybe close to the right ankle, and Moon is down at first base. A base runner just like that, the Rams will take it any way they can get it. And of course, Moon being a catcher is used to that type of stuff hitting him, so he's tough and is able to take it without much trouble.
Right, he didn't even point anywhere. Normally somebody will grab or point to somewhere, but I don't know if it got him on the shoe or just on the pants leg or whatever. It wasn't solid. It really just kind of grazed off him, so line appears to be fine.
And it brings up Luke Allen 0 for 2, and now 0 for 5 on the season. Throw to first is toward the dugout side of first base. Moon is back in, and a good save there by Jimmy Saucedo. Evans is to the belt, and once again a throw over to first. This one skips in the dirt, and Moon is back in.
You know, every time Drew Evans starts concentrating so much on the runners is when he gets in trouble. He's been a really effective pitcher when he doesn't worry about the base runners, just coming and pitching to the batters.
Pitch on the way, a called strike to Luke Allen. It's 0-1. The Rams have now had 4 base runners in the last inning plus. 2 walks, a fielder's choice, a man hit by a pitch. And of course that wild pitch from Evans caused the lone run of this game so far to score. The 0-1 pitch, a curveball, swung on and grounded towards second base. Going to be a tough play for East. His throw to first in time. Moon will move up to second base. Allen hit that ball in a perfect spot right out for that triangle between second, first, and the pitcher. And the pitcher was rushing to cover first, but Saucedo also there.
almost a swinging bunt there. It looked like the Rams had the hit and run on as Brian was going on the play. And I thought for a minute Luke might be able to leg that one out, but they got him by about a step and a half. But now let's see if we can wake Sam up.
Sam Allen 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Maybe has that adrenaline flowing through him after getting out of the bases-loaded jam last inning. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Took a mighty cut, trying to hit it back home to Covington, I think, 0-1.
And once again, a breaking ball down, and Sam having trouble with that pitch.
Allen certainly pressing a little early on here, wants to get off to a good, strong start. Evans checks the runner, the 0-1 pitch. Nearly hit Sam Allen. He had to duck, and the ball went behind his head, 1-1.
That's 2 times today that it's gone behind Sam's head. The other one way behind it, and that one he had to duck out of the way.
Meeks sets up, and Evans delivers, and it's swung on and grounded hard towards short. A.J. Johnson makes the play. He'll go to third, and Moon is out there. Safe at first base is Sam Allen, but on the ground ball to short, a hard ground ball. Moon decided to try to go to third. Not a wise decision. He's retired 6-5 for the second out.
I was kind of surprised Brian went there because the ball going in towards the hole, the shortstop had the natural easy play to third. It would have been tougher for him to try and whirl and throw over to first and retire Sam Allen on the play. Instead, they get the easy put out at third, and the Rams now only a runner on first and 2 outs.
And Sam Allen will lead away down there as Richie Cleary is the hitter. 2 pulled ground balls to the third baseman and 2 at-bats. And 2 ground outs. He swings and misses here, 0-1. Might have barely tipped that one. Cleary is now 1 for 5 on the season. Allen leads away. Here's a throw over there, and he is back in.
And Sam just got dirty for the first time this season.
He's got to be smiling now. Maybe he'll feel a little bit better about it now that he's got some dirt on the uniform. Cleary digs back in. Wind and pitch to him. Swung on and hit hard toward left field and deep. Hamrick is going back on it, still going back. This ball is out of here. Richie Cleary hits one to nearly the deepest part of the ballpark in left center field. That's going to make it 3-0 Newton County. The 2-run homer from Richie Cleary, who's been pulling everything and hitting everything hard, just waiting for that chance. Hits the first Ram home run of 1995. Now just imagine, Bill, if we'd been in the wing-ding inning, somebody would have 30 hot wings right now.
What a shot he hit. You could tell it was going deep until the deep part of the ballpark. I was waiting for it to hit off the fence, and all of a sudden, the left fielder, Charlie Hamrick, stopped and looked at it, and you saw it bounce out there. And as you said, he has been turning on everything. Richie has. Everything he's hit, he's pulled hard. And we commented on the game Thursday night, he hit probably about a 350-foot foul ball down the left field line. But he got all of that one.
Most certainly did, and that puts 2 more on the scoreboard and makes Sam Allen, the man who scored in front of him, breathe quite a bit easier. And Joseph Poole will stand up there with 2 outs and the bases empty. Swings at the first offering, pops it up toward right field where Gooch is trying to make the play near the fence. It is out of play, 0-1.
Looks like he got his foot stuck in the fence down there.
Matt Gooch's left foot is stuck in the fence down the right field line. Immediately over to help is the second baseman, Matt East, who gets that thing unjarred from the fence down the right side.
I know Thursday night, Luke Allen, who made the good play running over towards the left field, caught the ball right against the left field fence, said he had the same thing happen. His foot went under the fence at our park and hurt his foot a little bit there, but didn't get stuck quite as bad as he did there.
Well, Gooch fortunately avoids the sticky situation as Matt East points him in the right direction. Gets that foot untangled from the fence. Poole awaits the pitch. It is low and back to the screen, 1-1.
Joseph appears to be getting some better cuts this year than what he was doing last year. He's made some good contact. Had a good cut there on that foul ball. Drove it a pretty good ways down the right field line. Unfortunately, it did go out of play because it would have been caught otherwise.
Poole has shown some flashes of this good hitting last year. He didn't hit very much last year at the varsity level as there's a strike on the outside corner to him, 1-2. There was an at-bat against Clark Central, I believe, in which he fouled off 8 or 9 straight pitches. Unfortunately, he struck out afterwards. But that helped to boost his confidence later on, staying alive like that with 2 strikes to 1-2 on the way. Swung on and bounced back toward the mound. Evans' momentum was going toward the ball. Fielded it cleanly through to first in time. The Rams go down in the 6th, but not before. They put 2 up on 1 hit, that being the big 2-run homer from Richie Cleary. no one left on base, and after 5 1/2, the Rams on top here, 3-0. We'll be back after this. Newton Ram baseball here on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Take the worry out of insurance claims with Auto Owners Insurance. Ranked as one of the top companies in the United States for claim service by a national consumer magazine, you'll enjoy a quick and fair settlement of your personal or business loss. In fact, we're known as the no-problem people because service is our claim to fame. See your Auto Owners Insurance agent today.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213.
Auto owners, the no problem people.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County, Newton Ram baseball. And Ram fans with something to cheer about after last inning. Richie Cleary taking it deep. Rams now up 3-0. And here, Kevin Holden.
Bill Dolan, I thank you very kindly. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Griffin Bears send up Jimmy Saucedo, Micah Gooch, and Charlie Hamrick. 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Sam Allen's first full inning of work, and his first pitch is a fastball outside 1-0. And it seems obvious early on that the key for Sam Allen is going to be keeping the ball around the plate as the 1-0 is in the dirt and by Moon back to the screen.
Every game I watch Brian Moon, I can more and more appreciate his defensive skills and just the little things he does, things you normally don't see a high school player doing. He keeps his hand out of the way behind the back. He just has all the makings of a good pro catcher, I think, and someday I think you might see him out there.
Saucedo awaits the 2-0 offering, which is low. 3 balls, no strikes. To the big Griffin first baseman, hitting 6th in the order. Grounded back to the pitcher and reached on an error by Luke Allen in 2 appearances. The 3-0 is high for ball 4. And Saucedo down at first base. Second walk for Sam Allen in 3 batters that he has faced.
And that's what you don't want to see right after you go ahead and put a couple insurance runs on the board. Don't give up first base. You can't defense against the walk, so Sam needs to just go ahead and throw strikes. They really haven't driven too many balls hard, and he's got a good defense behind him, so Sam just needs to settle down, throw strikes, and let them fall where they may.
Shea Treadway has come in to pinch run here for Saucedo. Saucedo a little slower on the base paths, and Shea Treadway will be the person who will come in and pinch run for him. The name should sound kind of familiar. He is the nephew of a former Atlanta Brave second baseman, Jeff Treadway. And of course, the Treadways have a history in that area at Griffin High School, and this is Shea Treadway, only a sophomore. But if he's anything like his uncle, he's going to turn out to be a fine ball player.
And the umpires have notified Coach Brassfield of the change, and we're ready to get back.
Micah Gooch will be the hitter. He is 0 for 1. He takes the first pitch high for a ball 1-0. Gooch reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Jamie Cassidy flashes the signals for Griffin High School down the 3rd baseline. Sam Allen is throwing the ball hard, but walking some people. He's walked 2 so far. Runner takes his lead away, and the 1-0 is a called strike, 1-1.
You can look out at Sam and see that adrenaline's really pumping. He's pumped up, and it's making him overthrow a little bit, and that's where he's having a little trouble to control. He needs to just relax and go ahead and concentrate on Brian's mitt, throw strikes.
Well, as you know, as the throw goes to first base, Sam Allen is probably one of the most excited players out there on the field. He is one of the few third basemen that we have been able to hear from the Newton County press box. You can hear his chatter all the way up there and all around Riverside Park. The 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. On the field, he considers himself the emotional leader of this team, and he'd like to do the same here on the mound. Gooch standing fairly close to the plate. The 2-1 to him is outside with a fastball, 3-1.
Sam keeps waving to Brian. I don't know if he wants him to set up a little different. There appears to be some kind of problem with the signs, perhaps.
Poole holding that runner close, and the 3-1 is outside, ball 4. And here comes Joe Brassfield. He's going to try to talk to Sam Allen, who has now walked 3 batters out of 4 men that he has faced.
And he's making some kind of change here.
So the Rams will have a new pitcher. And while Luke Allen warms up, we will take this break. 1995 Newton High School Rams baseball right here on WGFS AM 1430. Brought to you by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
Hey, Carl, the greenskeeper here for the Hard Luck Cafe. You know, that's that little red building down by Nationwide. After a hard day hunting varmints on the golf course, I love to stop by and get some hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. They've got them all the way from that extra mile up to my favorite, TNT. It's a real Cinderella story how Randy has become king of the wings. So stop by and see Randy or call him at 787-0421. When you do, tell him Carl sent you and maybe he'll give me a free wing or something. Remember, that's 787-0421.
Charles Evans Nissan refuses to be undersold. We will meet or beat any advertised price on any in-stock unit. If you are tired of high pressure and the runaround, come to Charles Evans Nissan in Conyers. We put the fun back into buying a car. Charles Evans Nissan is located at 1420 Irish Drive in Conyers, 922-7600. Remember, Charles Evans Nissan, we won't be undersold. That's 922-7600.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium in Henry County, the South Metro Tournament. Newton Rams taking on the Griffin Bears. The Rams have just made a pitching change, and here to tell you all about it, the man who tells you all about Ram baseball all the time, the mouth of the Rams, Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much there, Bill Dolan. And here are the changes that we have for the Newton Rams. Your new pitcher is Luke Allen. Sam Allen will go back to third base. Matt Easterday has come in from center field to shortstop, and Robbie Sanfilippo has gone out to play center field. He was out there playing center field in the first game. Brent Johnson was DHing for him. Out of the game is Lance Coffin, who had been playing third base. Luke Allen came on in the first game of 1995, pitched to 3 batters, retired them all, throwing nothing but fastballs, and picked up the save in a 2-1 game against Stockbridge.
And it's a very critical situation. He comes in here now with the tying run stepping up to the plate, so this obviously, of course, is a save situation for Luke if he can get through this inning and the next inning. I don't know if he's got 2 innings left after going, and then I'm not real sure on his day-to-day strength coming back after 2 days of throwing.
Charlie Hamrick will be the hitter, 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Runners taken away from first and second, taking their leads. The first pitch outside, 1-0. Sam Allen pitching a third of an inning, facing 4 batters, 3 walks, and a fly out to right field. So a shaky pitching debut for Sam Allen. The 1-0 on the way. There's a called strike. The inside corner, 1-1.
Infield cheating in around the second base bag, looking for the old wholesaler. That'd be a good way to get this inning on the way.
They call it the old wholesaler because it's 2 for the price of 1. Batter was looking to bunt on that one. Here comes a throw down to second base. They have got the runner in a rundown. Sam Allen now chasing after the runner. The man is out. Here's a throw to first. The man there will be safe. The hitter, Charlie Hamrick, had bailed out a good 1.5 feet out of the batter's box, but then was trying to bunt and lunging toward first base to try to bunt, and the runner, Shea Treadway, taking a big lead away from second after the attempted bunt, and Moon picks him off. That goes 2-6-5 in your scorebook.
And we are now once again seeing Brian Moon's arm. He just drilled the ball down to second base, and Treadway didn't have a prayer, so he tried to get in the pickle, and the Rams executed it very well and retired him.
So once again, the Rams helped themselves out. There is a called strike. That is strike 3. At mass confusion, Luke Allen thought it was out number 3. He was headed out of the dugout. The hitter thought it was strike 2 and was staying there where it was strike 3. It is 2 outs now, and a new batter up there, Matt East. Runner at first base, so instead of it being first and second with nobody out after that pickoff play, we're now at 2 outs and a runner at first base, and yet again the Rams have helped themselves with good fundamental baseball.
Absolutely, and a real good breaking ball there by Luke Allen on the last one. That's the first one we've seen him throw this year.
Matt East takes the first pitch inside, 1-0. And 2 times up there to the plate, he's grounded the ball back to the mound and grounded one right in front of home plate that Brian Moon picked up and threw to first. Runner leads away. The 1-0 is a called strike, a ball and a strike.
Luke pitching real well here, throwing hard, has the breaking ball working today. Appears to be in control of his pitches. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in with a little bit of an off-speed pitch here, maybe try and cross him up.
A ball and a strike. The pitch on the way is a little bit outside, 2-1.
And once again, I was wrong. It was the fastball, but I'm not calling the game, so I'll let Brian Moon call the pitches for now.
Luke Allen throwing quite a few fastballs in both of his appearances, trying to establish that pitch early on. The 2-1 pitch is low, 3-1. Brian Moon fakes the throw down to first base, and you can bet the runner at first, after seeing what's happened to a few Griffin Bear runners, was definitely alert and headed back to that first base bag. For Griffin in the game, so far no runs on 5 hits. Newton has picked up 3 runs on 2 hits. The homer from Richie Cleary and a single in the 3rd inning by Ryan Allen.
And the Griffin Bears have hurt themselves with some of the base running, and of course the strong arm of Brian Moon. He's drilled 2 of them so far.
That pitch is outside for ball 4. Allen was looking for the good hard fastball, and Matt East trucking it on the way down to first base after ball 4. Runners now at first and second, 2 down, and back to the top of the order with Lynn Dunn. Dunn is 0 for 3. He did reach base once, but Sam Allen made an error, but Dunn was promptly picked off by Brian Moon.
I know Brian's going to be real happy that he's throwing this much better. He was a little disappointed in himself after that first game.
The first pitch, an off speed, but it stayed up high, 1-0, looked to be a curveball.
Did stay up kind of high. Appeared to have pretty good snap on it, but just up a little higher in the strike zone.
Runners take their leads away, and the pitch is high, 2-0, and Luke Allen suddenly finding himself in some control trouble. The Rams, after not having Brett Johnson walk a single batter, Rams have now walked 4 in their last inning plus. Stretch and the 2-0 on the way. There's a called strike, 2-1.
After receiving some words of encouragement from Coach Brassfield, Luke calmed down a little bit and just made a good pitch, going ahead and taking the automatic one, coming right down Ram Drive with it.
With 2 outs and up 3, just looking to get the ball over the plate as the 2-1 is fouled back to the screen, and it goes to 2-2.
Another good fastball there on the outside part of the plate, up about the waist high, and just a little bit of trouble trying to get around on it, wasn't able to do so.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, and the pitch called strike 3. Brian Moon may have helped out the home plate umpire. A good curveball that may have caught the outside black, but was a questionable call by according to some standards, but Moon kind of helped out by taking a few steps toward the third base dugout. It's a strikeout for Luke Allen, who helps the Rams get out of yet another jam. No runs, no hits, 2 men left on base for the Griffin Bears in the 6th. And we head to the 7th inning with your score, 3-0, the Newton Rams on top. Part of the South Metro Tournament here at Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County High School in McDonough. We will be back. Newton Ram Baseball here on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
If you want to save money on a great chainsaw, you want the Husqvarna 51. Because right now at Coast to Coast Home and Auto, you can pick up the powerful, reliable, and lightweight Husqvarna 51 for only $329.95. That's a savings of $70. With 3.1 cubic inches, the Husky 51 has the power to do some serious cutting. Thanks to an extra-large air intake and filter, it runs clean and cool. It weighs just over 11 pounds and features a combination choke idle for easy starting. What's more, it has one of the industry's lowest vibration ratings. It all adds up to a saw that lets you do a lot more with a lot less effort. No wonder professional loggers choose Husqvarna. So pick up your own Husqvarna, the Husky 51, and save big. It's just $329.95 at Coast to Coast Home and Auto. Call them at 786-7979 for more information, or see them on the square in downtown Covington.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County Ram Baseball, and here with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Trail Horton, Chris Middlebrooks, Matt Easterday, your next 3 due up in the 7th and hopefully final inning. As Trail Horton takes the first pitch low, 1-0. Horton is 0 for 2. Struck out looking his first time, reached on a fielder's choice, using that speed to leg out a ground ball to second that Might have been a double play on some other folks his second time up. The 1-0 to him is in the dirt and gets away from Ryan Meeks. It's 2-0.
Drew Evans still out there on the mound. Kind of surprised us early in the season to see a pitcher going into the seventh inning. And beginning to show a little bit of wildness. Appears to have lost maybe a foot off that fastball, too.
He's allowed 6 base runners here in the last few innings. He stayed away from the base on balls for the most part and essentially made just one bad pitch as the 2-0 is inside 3-0. He's got no support at all. He's pitched a fairly good game. He's only given up 2 hits and 3 runs, so that is actually a very good game on the part of Drew Evans. Only problem is, can't win if your team doesn't score you any runs. Winds a 3-0 pitch, called strike inside corner, 3-1.
Yeah, the Bears haven't been able to muster any type of offense. They've had base runners all over the place lately, but haven't been able to put anything together to get one of them home.
Line and the 3-1 pitch is a curveball inside, ball 4. Horton stayed away from it, and now he's on base by himself to lead off an inning.
And you have to think that with the cushion now with the 3-0 lead, I think we're going to see him run. I know Coach Brassfield likes to get him run. In fact, he was talking Thursday night. Had the Rams gotten some more base runners, they would have been doing some more running.
One thing about the South Metro Tournament, it's a good time to work on the fundamentals and find out exactly what your team looks like and what your strengths and weaknesses are. So under the circumstances, that would say that maybe Trail Horton will be running in this situation. Throw goes over. He is back in safely. Chris Middlebrooks, the hitter, 0 for 1 with a walk. Stretch and Evans' delivery outside, 1-0.
And with that last dive back into first, I think Trail Horton has taken over the lead again for the dirty uniform of the day.
Looks like Trail Horton and Ryan and Sam Allen are the 3 that will be doing some brushing off as they get on the team bus on the way back. Pitch to Middlebrooks is inside and high, nearly hit him, 2-0.
Drew Evans is starting to have a little bit of control problems. That's several he's thrown actually in the headhunter area, but just appears to be a lack of control. There doesn't appear to be anybody throwing into anybody.
Ryan Meeks flashing the signal to his pitcher. Evans instead will go to first base, and Horton is back in. Kind of half sliding, half diving.
Pretty close to a balk on that move there. He really didn't appear to come quite set to me. I thought he had balked a little bit, maybe.
2-0 is on the way. It's also high and tight. 3 balls, no strikes. Evans may be showing some signs of wearing down here as the game is going on. He's thrown a lot of pitches the last few innings. He walked 2 people in the 5th, and then gave up that home run in the 6th inning, and walked the leadoff man here in the 7th as well.
I can't see down there. Do they have anybody loosening up yet?
There are a couple of people in the Griffin bullpen warming up. Can't see who they are from here, but there is action down there. 3-0 the count to Middlebrooks. Horton leads away from first. The pitch on the way. High and tight. And that is ball 4. It'll put runners at first and second. And Easterday, followed by the top of the order, will have a chance to try to pad the 3-0 lead.
And once again, once Drew Evans started concentrating more on the base runner than on the batter, he ends up walking another one, and he's digging a hole for himself. And the manager comes out to talk to him.
Jamie Cassidy, the coach of the Griffin High School Bears, out there for just a moment, has discussed what he wanted with Drew Evans, and Evans is still out there. Easterday in the game, 0 for 1. A strikeout. He also hit a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning.
That was a real important play. He drove the ball real far to left center field, and that did move the runners up where they were able to score on the, whereas Horton was able to score on the wild pitch.
Without the sac fly, that definitely would not have been possible. Pitch to Easterday is swung on and popped up into deep right field. Gooch is still going back on it, makes the catch near the wall. Runners tagging up and going to second and third. Horton over to third and Middlebrooks over to second. Looks as if Horton might have left that second base bag a little bit too early. I couldn't tell from my vantage point. But Griffin may be trying an appeal back to second base.
Another surprise on the play. No one covered second base, and a good throw into second base probably could have gotten Middlebrooks on the play. He didn't get a real good jump from first base on it, but nobody covered the bag at all. The throw was to the right spot. It was coming right into second base, but both the second baseman and shortstop were out trying to cut it off.
And once again, Matt Easterday moves up both runners out of that 9 spot, but both times with deep fly balls. You wonder if he'll be hitting 9th in the next few games. It will probably be moved up a few spots in the order. Ryan Allen, the hitter, with 2nd and 3rd, swings and pops one up into left field, where Charlie Hamrick is venturing close to foul territory. He's made the catch. Here's the throw as Horton tries to score, and Horton is out. That is the 3rd out of the inning. The catcher was throwing down to 3rd base. Not sure why, because that was out 3. Horton, a very speedy runner, so give Charlie Hamrick quite a bit of credit. A terrific throw right on the line, and Ryan Meeks able to apply the tag.
Just a perfect throw, and what it took, I thought that was deep enough to score Trail Horton without much of a problem, but it took a perfect throw to get him, and he made the good play, and we commend him for that.
No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on base for Newton County in the 7th. Last chance for the Griffin Bears. Your score right now, Newton High School 3, Griffin High School nothing, and we will be back after this. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
We have reports of a traffic problem in Covington. We're going to go to Kevin Holden in the traffic copter with a report. Kevin.
Well, Todd, there appears to be a big traffic jam in the 7100 block of Highway 278. I think it's around a business area. Yes, I believe that's East Metro Communications. What's going on here?
Kevin, I've just been handed something that should help us figure this out. Thanks. Next time. This says Covington's oldest cellular agent, East Metro Communications, is running a special through March 11th. You can save $50 when you activate a phone with East Metro Communications. Also, Kevin, it says phones are as low as free.
Did you say $50 off activation? Phones as low as free? That's it. I'm going down for a closer look.
Kevin, don't do that. Kevin, no. No, Kevin, no. Kevin.
East Metro Communications, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796. Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. Individuals must meet certain credit requirements to be eligible for these plans.
And welcome back to Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County, the South Metro Tournament. It all boils down to this. Bottom of the 7th inning, Rams with the lead, 3 outs to go, and who better to get them for you? Kevin Holden.
Well, the Newton Rams have won 3 straight South Metro Tournament championships, 92, 93, and 94, and looking to make it 4 in a row. That senior class would like to go out with 4 straight. They're going another step toward doing that, or hopefully doing that here, as they lead Griffin 3-0. But we're sure that Mount Zion and Henry County, etc., will have a lot to say about that, and of course, the road to the championship will have to go through Mount Zion and also Henry County, 2 very strong teams that the Rams will face here in the next few weeks. A.J. Johnson, the first interesting distinction, because in the saves department, the Rams had a combined total of 2 team saves last year. There's a called strike, 1-1. Luke Allen will have a chance to have 2 saves in the first 2 games of 1995. The wind and the 1-1 pitch swung on and popped up into center field. It's going to be a long run for San Filippo, and he won't make it as it drops in for a base hit.
That one kind of just fell in between there. Not real well hit, but San Filippo was pulled around to the left side and real deep. That one landing in that triangle out there just over Ryan Allen's head and in front of Horton and San Filippo. That batter was really crowding the plate. I'm kind of surprised Luke didn't try to get him off it just a little bit there. Take back his half of it.
And Ryan Meeks pretty close to the inside part of the plate as well, and the first pitch to him, a called strike 0-1. Meeks is 2 for 3 in this game, pair of singles and a ground ball back to the mound. Rams scored their first run in the 5th inning on a wild pitch after a sacrifice fly, moved the runners to 2nd and 3rd. Here's a ground ball back to the pitcher. Luke Allen will go to 2nd, and the ball goes off to Easterday's glove, so safe at 2nd base as A.J. Johnson. Looked like it might have been a double play ball, but instead, 1st and 2nd and no one out, and the young shortstop, Matt Easterday, I think looked away from the ball and toward first base.
Yes, he did. He was more concerned about getting the throw off instead of catching the ball. As they teach you in the basics, get the first out first, get the key one, particularly with a 3-run lead. You got to call an error on that because good throw by Luke Allen, gave it to him up high where he could handle it, and he still would have had plenty of time to turn the double play, but he, like you say, he turned his head on it and closed his glove before the ball got there.
And Ron Miley, the cleanup batter here, represents the potential tying run. First pitch to him is low for ball 1. Miley has been perfect today, 2 for 2 with a walk.
Luke needs to really bear down now and just not let that get to him. We got the 3-run lead. He just needs to go ahead and throw strikes and get some of these next couple batters out.
Stretch and the pitch. There's a called strike. Right there close to the outside part. It's 1-1.
And Moondog jumping up, ready to throw again. He loves those snap throws, doesn't he?
Likes to keep those runners close to first base, at least by threatening the snap throw. He's also picked off a couple of runners that way, one today. There's a pitch high, 2-1. Griffin has 6 hits in the game, all of them singles. They haven't put a run across yet, but they have certainly threatened several times. They have left 10 men on base so far in this game. Stretch and the 2-1 pitch swung on in line toward right field. This one's going to fall in for a base hit and probably break the shutout. Horton is over to cut it off. In to score is A.J. Johnson. Pulling into second now is Miley. Meeks is over at third. It's now 3-1 with the potential tying runs on base, and here comes Joe Brassfield.
And, brother, does that error look hard now?
3-1 your score. Second and third and nobody out. And Brassfield is going to have a crisis confrontation here. He's going to call a conference on the mound of all of his infielders. First and second baseman and third baseman and shortstop out there along with his pitcher and catcher. And Drew Evans will be the hitter. He is 0 for 3 and looking to redeem himself after 2 strikeouts. And also with the bases loaded in the 5th inning and 2 outs, he popped out to the right fielder. Evans will have a chance to help his own cause and keep his team in the game here.
That last ball was hit pretty well there as it sliced away from Trail Horton towards the right field corner. He was able to cut it, wasn't able to get it cut off, and that allowed the runners to move up to second and third with the run scoring then.
The Rams are deep, at least in the middle of the infield, as the first pitch is a strike to Evans, 0-1. First baseman Joseph Poole is up at the edge of the infield grass. Pitching from the stretch is Luke Allen, and his pitch misses the outside part by just a little, 1-1.
If ever Luke needs a strikeout, this would be the good place for it to give himself a little bit of an edge back in it because he's in a deep hole right now.
Meeks and Miley take their lead, and the pitch is high and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. To the opposing pitcher, Drew Evans, who has thrown a fine ball game of his own. For Griffin, he has gone the full way. Stretch and the 2-1 pitch. Checked his swing, but it hit the bat. He fouled it back toward the screen, 2-2.
That may have been a strike, even though he tried to check his swing. It was in the area right over the inside corner. I think it was just that it was too tough of a pitch for him to get around on, and it did hit the bat as he tried to get around and tried to stop his swing and check it. This is where Luke really needs to bear down and throw a strike here and get that K in the book.
He comes to the belt, and his 2-2 on the way, swung on and missed, and there is out 1. A huge out for the Newton Rams as the crowd on the Newton side gives up a cheer. Allen comes in and gets his 3rd strikeout since coming into the game. It's the 3rd time that Evans has gone down on strikes. And now Saucedo, who came back into the game after being lifted for a pinch runner, comes up here with 2nd and 3rd.
Luke really aired that fastball out, and it was up in a spot where it was really difficult to hit, about the letter high outside corner, and just a real good pitch and a critical strikeout for him.
Saucedo is 0 for 2, takes the first one, a curveball for a strike, 0-1. And if Luke Allen can come back here after having this 2nd and 3rd situation and shut the Griffin Bears out, he may improve his standing as a potential closer. It's 0-2. He may have hurt it, though, early on in this inning by allowing those first 3 people to reach base, the single, the double, and the error on Matt Easterday.
Of course, the error really changed the whole inning around.
And the 0-2 swung on and popped up foul out of play off to the right. Still 2 strikes on the hitter. On deck is Micah Gooch. The Griffin Bear right fielder is 0 for 1. He has also walked and been hit by a pitch.
I think Luke crossed Brian Moon up a little bit on that pitch. Brian went out to talk to him, and they were chuckling a little bit. I think they got it straightened out.
Potential tying run at second base for the Griffin Bears here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Pitch is swung on, just got a piece of it and fouled it back. Still that 2-strike count on Saucedo.
I think it was Jimmy Saucedo that had the one at bat where he fouled off about 6 or 7 pitches earlier in the game off of Brent Johnson, so he can hang tough at the plate. Luke's going to really need to make a good pitch to get the strikeout on him.
The stretch and the pitch, swung on and missed. Good high, hard fastball. tough to lay off, and Saucedo chasing after it makes it 2 outs now, and Allen has really settled down since the conference at the Hill.
Like the true good old-fashioned closer, he comes in, throws the heat, the smoke, that high fastball that the hitters have trouble getting around on.
And Griffin's hopes today will now rest on the shoulders of Micah Gooch, who is 0 for 1 and swings and misses at a Luke Allen fastball 0-1.
Luke, as you say, has really settled down. Brian's got him in the groove, throwing strikes to the mitt, that good, high, hard heater.
Allen is to the belt in his 0-1 pitch. A curveball caught the inside corner. That's strike 2. It's a tale of two completely different pitchers.
And right now, Luke can do just about anything he wants because this batter doesn't really have a clue what's coming. He's thrown him the good, hard fastball and a good breaking ball. Watch for the high heater.
The 0-2 on the way. High, hard heat, but swung on and popped up foul off to the right out of play. It remains 0-2. Still, though, one bad pitch could make this a tie game or even worse. With Gooch at the plate and Charlie Hamrick on deck. Hamrick is 0 for 3. 2 ground outs against Johnson. And a strikeout against Luke Allen when he first came in the game. That was the first man he faced. Fastball goes outside. A ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Bottom half of the 7th inning, Rams 1 out away from closing this one out. But possibly in trouble with 2 men on. Pitch is low. 2-2.
And Luke's throwing the ball back in. He wants another ball. He doesn't like the feel of that one. A lot of times, particularly when you've got mud like this, the seams don't feel quite right in your hands. And I think that's what he was saying with that ball after it had gone into the dirt like that. In fact, it even scattered a little up this high towards us.
Little patch of dirt came from that area behind home plate. Flashed on the window right there. There's strike 3 as a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Swung on and missed by Gooch. So Luke Allen comes in after giving up a single, then an error by the shortstop, and then a double. Strikes out 3 straight men swinging and doing it with high, hard heat. Closes this one out and gets his second save of the season in only 2 games. Rams win at 3-1, and we'll be back to wrap up your happy news from Craig Lunsford Stadium in McDonough at Henry County High School right after this. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430 made possible by East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
I'm just starting out on my own. I know the importance of life insurance to protect obligations, like my new car loan. But is there an insurance program that I can fit into my budget?
No problem with Auto Owners 10-year level term insurance.
How will I know this is the right kind of life insurance for me?
Auto Owners 10-year level term provides low-cost level protection and can be converted to permanent insurance later.
Who can I talk to find out more about Auto Owners 10-year level term insurance?
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213, your auto owner's agent.
Auto owners, the no problem people.
We have reports of a traffic problem in Covington. We're going to go to Kevin Holden in the traffic copter with a report. Kevin.
Well, Todd, there appears to be a big traffic jam in the 7100 block of Highway 278. I think it's around a business area. Yes, I believe that's East Metro Communications. What's going on here?
Kevin, I've just been handed something that should help us figure this out. Thanks. Next time. This says Covington's oldest cellular agent, East Metro Communications, is running a special through March 11th. You can save $50 when you activate a phone with East Metro Communications. Also, Kevin, it says phones are as low as free.
Did you say $50 off activation? Phones as low as free? That's it. I'm going down for a closer look.
Kevin, don't do that. Kevin, no. No, Kevin, no. Kevin.
East Metro Communications, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796. Covington's authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular. Individuals must meet certain credit requirements to be eligible for these plans.
Hey, Carl, the greenskeeper here for the Hard Luck Cafe. You know, that's that little red building down by Nationwide. After a hard day hunting varmints on the golf course, I love to stop by and get some hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. They've got them all the way from that extra mile up to my favorite, TNT. It's a real Cinderella story how Randy has become king of the wings. So stop by and see Randy or call him at 787-0421. When you do, tell him Carl sent you and maybe he'll give me a free wing or something. Remember, that's 787-0421.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, from Craig Lunsford Stadium, Henry County High School in McDonough, and Bill Dolan, your happy news in this one. The Newton Rams pick up the victory over the Griffin Bears. Your final score is 3-1. Another surprise game. The Ram offense still having trouble with the exception of the home run from Richie Cleary. Not much out of the Ram bats, but good pitching yet again.
Very true. Kind of a little bit of inconsistent pitching once Brent Johnson left the game. He did a fine job. I'd like to tip my hat to him. And the big key in his performance today was he did not walk anyone. Balls were not hit hard. Had good control of his pitches. Moved the ball around well. Had a good off-speed pitch, a good breaking ball. Once Sam came in, I think he had those first game jitters a little bit. Luke had the bad luck of the air, but then came on strong and a real good strong finish, ended up with 3 strikeouts to end the game. And although not pretty, it's a win in the books. 2-0 is 2-0 any way you look at it.
And if you look at this in terms of things outside of runs, maybe the Rams should not have won this game. Here are your final totals. The Rams 3 runs, 2 hits, a single from Ryan Allen, the home run from Richie Cleary. The Rams made 3 errors. They left 4 people on base. Your winning pitcher in all of this, the pitcher who was in there in the 5th inning when the wild pitch was thrown, of course, Brent Johnson came out to throw the bottom half of the 5th, so he does get the win. And Luke Allen picks up the save, his second of the year, matching the entire team's season total from the year before. For Griffin, this is interesting. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors, and here is the difference in the game. 12 men left on base for the Griffin Bears in a 7-inning game. Drew Evans, the losing pitcher, give him credit. He gave up only 2 hits. Had some trouble later in the game with control and gave up that 1 home run to Richie Cleary, the 1 bad pitch. Turned out to be the difference. It would have been a tie ball game otherwise, so give a lot of credit to Drew Evans for a well-pitched game. The Rams moved to 2-0 on the 1995 season, and we here at WGFS will see you when the Rams play next, which will be Tuesday, March 7th. The Rams will take on the highly touted Salem Seminoles from Riverside Park. Don't miss that one as Kevin Holden, Bill Dolan, and special guest Todd Chapman help to bring you some of the play-by-play action of that one.
And for our star of the game, the WGFS radio star of the game, we have decided on Richie Cleary, for without his 2-run blast, we might still be playing.
So Richie Cleary, congratulations on being the WGFS player of the game for this one. Once again, your happy news here from Craig Lunsford Stadium at Henry County High School. The Newton Rams 3 and the Griffin Bears 1. And so for executive producer Todd Chapman, for Bill Dolan, and for myself, Kevin Holden, so long, everybody.